Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Talking Tarkov podcast. Thank you guys for waiting through the intro. I just want to make sure a lot of you guys could pile in here and get ready for the show. So today, the podcast is really going to be focused on professional firearm users, besides Brandon, like perspective of Tarkov and various other aspects of the game. And the subjects that we're going to kind of go into are like weapon builds, weapon handling, player movement, tactile devices such as like flashlights and like lasers, as well as night vision. And today we have Lucas over here. You guys have probably seen his videos, probably have seen him all over YouTube. We have my friend PacePerformance here, who's been in the firearms industry for a really long time. Brandon Herrera down here, Mr. Meme Lord. And of course, you guys know Nikita, doesn't really need an introduction. So kind of want each of you guys to kind of just say a little bit about yourselves for people who don't really know you. And I guess we'll start with Lucas, kind of talk about your background a bit and what you do. And then Paul, Brandon, and then Nikita. Oh, hold on. Apparently my audio is not working. Oh shit. My bad. Fuck.
Okay, geez.
Okay, I think it's working now. Okay, I think they should be able to hear you now. Sorry.
So now I have to start over?
Yeah, you do. Sorry.
That's fine. Started a holster company in Tennessee 7 years ago. Started on Instagram, and it grew from there. We retail products. I do some training on the side, shoot guns for a job a couple times a week. The rest is normal business stuff. It's not all this all day, which is a misconception. And I get to hang out and talk to cool guys such as yourselves. And I have no military law enforcement background. I am a civilian, and yeah, and I play Tarkov too, here and there, and I stream as well.
Nice.
My name is Paul Van Dunk. I run a company called PacePerformance and Consulting. I consult with firearms end users as well as companies, and I teach firearms instruction, mostly performance-based for rifle and pistol. I started my company about historically 11 years ago, but the company went through a name change about 5-6 years ago and became PacePerformance. I teach military, law enforcement, civilians, mostly civilians. In the rare case that we do military contract, it's generally with kind of line guys, or they're just attending the courses. I do law enforcement. See what I did there? I do law enforcement mostly in like 3 states. I'm working on post certifications right now, but I get to do cool stuff like this as well. And I shoot for Agency Arms, Radiant Weapons, and a couple other companies, so I get to work with product development with those companies as well. I'm also one of the gunsmiths at Agency Arms, so if you have a problem with your agency, don't call me.
Brandon?
Well, my name is Brandon Herrera. Welcome to the meeting. I run a YouTube channel. I'm basically a professional court jester on the internet. I make dick jokes online, and less of a hardcore shooter and more of just a hardcore nerd. So I'm more into the mechanics of why firearms work, how they work, different styles, things like that. So I'm ass with a handgun or a rifle. Ask anybody who's seen it, but it's more of a nerdy thing. So I'm just I'm privileged to hang out here as a fan of all the rest of you.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'm your biggest fan.
I don't believe you.
You are a court jester. I agree. I like that.
It's the best way to describe it. It's like I don't need you to take me seriously. I don't even take myself seriously.
Nikita, do you have any words for the people of the stream?
Of course, yeah. I just read something in chat, something like, "Don't share your stories. We all need the information about Vibe."
Fuck you.
So it's coming It's coming Thursday, right?
Thursday.
Vibe is coming in 10 minutes, guys. You hold on. So my name is Nikita. I'm from Russia right now, at least, and I am responsible for this thing called Escape from Tarkov, and I started to make it more than 5 years ago, because 5 years ago, at least, it started to get on this speed that we have right now. And I think 7 or 8 years ago we had a concept of creating something like this. So I started my career in game industry more than 10 years ago, and all I do right now is working mostly. I try to shoot 1 time per week. It's so-called Sunday War, and with the paper chargers, of course. And most of the time I'm working and trying to make your experience in the game as much realistic as possible and playable. And right now, currently, we are working on 12.11 patch and so on. So it's boring, actually.
We've already heard about this on Pestili's podcast.
Well, I love guns. I love shooting. I love all of the things related not only to guns, also to military tactics, gear, and everything that we have in game. Because not only it's my job to actually understand and feel how it goes in real life. I'm also loving all of this stuff, and it's my life. And I really like not only to work with gear, like in weapons, and like everything. I love to speak and share experiences with you guys, with all of you guys. Like we are sitting here, mostly in US. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool to have all these famous faces in one place.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, thank you guys for the intros. So I guess we'll just kind of get into it. So first, so again, for a lot of you guys too who are watching, like this isn't a podcast for us to be like, oh my god, EFT is the best game ever or whatever. It's supposed to be a little bit of a critique on the game from the perspective of like professional firearms users who have been using this stuff for a very long time and do this as their job, and basically kind of give their comparisons in terms of like what they do in their day-to-day life as professional firearms users versus like how Tarkov handles it, trying to be like an immersive, realistic, or authentic FPS game. And so the first topic of discussion that I want the perspective of you guys from is weapon builds in Tarkov. So like all of the guns that you see players using, the guns that you like to use yourselves, how the game kind of handles weapon builds in general. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on basically all of that in general?
I think it's amazing.
It's good. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing really you can't do. Short of selecting what location on the rail you're putting stuff. I mean, there's not many games that compare as far as customizing your firearm.
You can also put more than 2 optics on your gun, which is great ish sometimes, not really, but it's fun. So I think it's cool. But yeah, short of that, you can do even weapon lights. I actually really like, there's no major difference in where you put the light on the gun. I haven't noticed any suppressor shadow or any shadows with the white lights. More on that later, but you could still specify if you want the light or laser on the left, right side, bottom, or top of the weapon. And I like that you can actually specify where you want your PEC, your white light. I think that's awesome and could make a difference on some stuff later on. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, I lost my shit the first time I was trying to put a red dot on an AK in the game and realized, oh my god, I can't do that. I need an Ultimac. This is fucking awesome. Like just the amount of like real world, like you can't just attach shit to your gun randomly with duct tape like a lot of the other guns or the other games seem to do is a really neat feature for me.
Well, and being able to specify you want the red dot in the front of the AK on the gas tube or back on the dust cover or I guess.
And it actually changes eye relief and everything. That's huge.
Yeah, super cool.
In terms of like viable weapon builds as well, like I think you guys know what like meta guns are in EFT, because again, for you guys don't know, everybody here plays Tarkov. These guys have like 300 to 500 hours in the game on average or so. Like how do you guys like see the performance of like say meta weapons that are very popular among like most people who play the game versus what you guys use on your day-to-day job?
I sometimes find the meta weapons to be kind of unrealistic in some senses, not all, but in some senses. And that's thinking about this a lot in the past couple of days, knowing we were going to talk about this kind of stuff. I do understand the difficulty for a programmer / game developer designer to kind of bridge the gap between what's going to work in the game and what actually works in real life. 'Cause let's face it, if it was like it was in real life, the game probably wouldn't be any fun.
True.
True.
It would suck. So creating that balance is where artists, in my opinion, like Nikita and his development team, kind of really get to shine. People may critique certain things, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of these things are made why they are because of the game's balance and all that. And I think more recently, I've kind of started to more understand that in talking to Klean and Nikita more about the game. But there are certain things that I kind of like. 416s are notoriously harsh. I know. I know Lucas knows about this. They're not the funnest guns to shoot. I think that they are very prestigious in ownership. But as far as like the way they operate, they are extremely violent in compared to a mid-length gas gun with the proper tuning, port size, and all that good stuff, which I will get into later if it comes up. But I do like the idea of the meta guns, but even though you put that much weight on an HK and you put an 18-inch barrel on it, 20-inch barrel on it, I'd never come across an HK that shot that flat.
Yeah.
I want one.
I think the biggest issue right now, and this is a hard balance thing, is the meta, at least when I come across some Chad who's loaded, is a 20-inch 416 with a 8-inch suppressor, tiny little red dot, the little PK whatever, little Russian red dot.
PK06.
Yep, he's kitted out of his mind. And right before I drove over here, I did an offline with that build in factory and was just running around lasering people, ADSing in 0.3 seconds, just whipping it around. But that's a 14-pound gun, 15-pound gun with Surefire 60s is what I put in the gun just for fun. Just, hey, why not? And I think there's a couple things, that could be done. Increasing the time of just being able to move the gun, the maneuverability, making it a little more, because you can hold. I do like the arm stamina. When you're holding a gun posted up somewhere to kind of prevent people from camping angles. I think that's great. That's very realistic. I mean, the SCAR up there, it's a 16-inch SCAR with a full size Surefire can. I can't hold that gun up for forever. Like, it's just not going to happen. I think small guns are punished too much though. Like Mark 18s running around with the 10.3 barrel. Because a 5.56 gun has no recoil to begin with. I mean, not really. But you never see people running around with short guns in Tarkov. But in real life, like, pretty much everyone is running around with a short gun, unless they're doing a dedicated, like, recce build. Everyone's got 10.3s, 416s at 10.4, MCXs that are being fielded, like the LVAW. That's I think it's a 6.75-inch barrel, 8-inch barrel. Pretty much everyone for CQB, which is the majority of Tarkov, are running short guns. So I'd love to see some balancing where the big guns, you have less dudes running around with full-size FALs with huge suppressors on them. A little bit less of that, in dorms, and more short guns, Mark 18s, MCXs, have a little more benefit. I'm not sure how that needs to be programmed and balanced, because you don't want to go, like Paul was saying, one-for-one realism, because it's not fun. You have to have some, just game elements to make the game fun. That's why Arma is not a huge game, and games like Tarkov are bigger. At least in my perspective, they are bigger and more successful and popular because they're more fun than playing a milsim game, like a full milsim game.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Lucas nailed it though. The one thing that's that I've at least noticed. So I'm not big into like meta guns or like seeing what the meta is for. I run what I want. Like, I just run whatever's fun or whatever I would just want to use that I can't get. But I think you fucking nailed it as far as like.
Let me comment on this.
Sure.
So the thing is,
Good talk.
And, is it okay?
Yeah, it's kind of lagging out.
Okay.
It's good now.
I see. I'm like working on the VPN right now. I will close it. It could like it again. So the thing is, like, I never liked the metas in game, and I always try to combat the meta stuff. And I think 1 or 2 patches away, it was even worse right now. So the metas were prevailing in terms of like lasering people with all of these strange builds, and we kind of moved to the more balanced approach with the addition of ergonomics drawbacks. Like if you have a low recoil build, your ergonomics will be bad. And the thing is, it's not enough. So we plan to increase the bad sides of the bad ergonomics in game. So you'll like the weapon will feel much more heavier and bulky, and I think it will give us the thing that you described. So it will be not so usable to actually carry a weapon, this kind of weapon, in the close encounter things, and maybe the thing will be more balanced in this way. But again, it is really hard to balance things, especially when we are constantly adding new stuff, new like weapon parts, new weapons, and it's always a struggle to actually have the exact place of different kind of mods within the whole lineup of like a lot of mods, a lot of weapon parts, and yeah. So even if we decided to balance something, like let's balance stocks, we need to balance the whole lineup of stocks. It's like 138 or something, and it's pretty hardcore. And we understand that it must be done. So eventually, for the release, like before the release of the game, official release of the game, we will need to have all of the things settled up. We will need all of the weapon parts balanced. So, uh, like we will not have, or we will have as less metas as possible within the game, because the metas is they are like not good for the game at all, especially for the game such as Escape from Tarkov. So we will need to carry on this balancing and balancing processes.
I will say I do want to comment on this. I do think it's an unrealistic expectation because I'm a consumer, I'm a player, and I feel at times like, you know, I play a lot of Call of Duty, and with every update, there's a new broken stupid gun. Which part of the reason I think it's just a marketing ploy because everyone talks about it, which is great marketing. But I think it's an unrealistic expectation for the consumer, the player base, to assume that every added thing to the game is going to keep the game perfectly balanced. I mean, to be honest, we should be thankful for every time you introduce a new gun like the MCX, which will introduce probably stuff that gets past you or stuff that hasn't been tested for against a million players and millions of gunfights, because that's what it is. I think that needs to be discussed more of just, hey, there's work happening with the developers. You should be thankful they're adding new stuff. And yeah, sometimes it'll get broken. But again, if every gun was the same and every gun was balanced perfectly, I feel like the game would be pretty boring. And having some
Agreed.
change at times where like, wow, this gun's a little broken for like a month, that might be fine. That might be okay. That gun's going to be more expensive. And then in a month, something else is kind of the new thing, the new craze. Some streamer talks about it. Now it's everyone's, after it. Having everything be the same, I think it'd be boring. It's just a hard time of making stuff not be too meta, maybe like this much and not like super broken. And I don't know how to do, I'm not a coder. I don't know how do you balance that? But I think that the consumer market, the gamers need to have some understanding and be thankful first that you guys are bringing so much new stuff to the game rather than immediately jumping on you guys for, oh no, this gun's broken. Well, yes, because they're adding stuff constantly. So don't whine.
For
Agreed.
example,
What's
Yeah, yeah.
super interesting to me is that like if you go line item by line item as far as like accessories on the guns, I don't disagree with anything as far as like, recoil reduction versus ergos or whatever, like everything, like I'll look at it like and I'm like, okay, I've seen that part, I've used that part, like that makes perfect sense to me. But the combination and what makes meta guns is not setups that real world like people who kill people for a living use. And I think that's super interesting where the disparity is, because I don't have a suggestion because I don't know where the disconnect is. Maybe the guys who kill people for a living right now are running shit builds and they should be running more like Tarkov meta. I don't know where the disconnect is.
Why aren't you using a 6 kilo gun that's 30 inches long? You don't know what you're
course.
doing, dumbass. I can
It-
clear Tight corner with that, no problem. And
It's
Tarkov.
it's one of those things though where it's really hard for me to determine like where, because like, if you break it down point by point, like accessory by accessory, like I don't know how to fix that.
You understand? You like just understand. This is the thin ice because we cannot do a proper builds in game, so we'll be able to replicate it in real life. It's too dangerous to have actual in real like in the game. Just imagine, people will use the game as some kind of manual, as some kind of training thing, and it will be kind of okay if the professional military unit or something will utilize this kind of knowledge and like training, some kind of training experience within the game. But you understand that.
Hey, Nikita, there's a suspicious amount of people buying Tarkov in Syria.
Yes, something like this. And this actually kind of scares me sometimes, and that's why like we have some kind of level of a detail in the game, and of course we can make everything much more realistic. So for the adequate person, it will be super cool. It will be like magic, because again, if you have some kind of like experience and feelings like you have in real life on real range, you will have it in the game with all of the details and information. It's really cool. But again, there is like a lot of people who are not so like adequate and cool and like good enough.
Stable.
Yeah, evil. They can use it like in different kind of things. They can use it, and I think it's not cool. But it's just a thought. Like it's just a thought. Like I don't know. Maybe.
So is
It's
that an actual, like, is that just a concern of yours, or is that an actual like hard stop where you're purposely
it's
not
it's
doing certain things
a
because you're
concern.
worried about it?
It's a concern. We will definitely will not make a detailed approach to explosives, for example. It's not possible.
Great idea.
Wait, you're making a training manual for explosives in Tarkov? Tell me more.
We will be like in prison, I think. Like, everybody will be in prison.
So I mixed the fertilizer with the... I'm just kidding.
Hot dog, water, bread. Как это по-английски? Изолента-то, господи. Bull tape. Yes.
Why would you say that about my mother?
Yeah, and actually, it's not what I wanted to say. It's really curious for myself how you people will like or not the CMMG MK47. So this is a mutant thing which uses 762 by 39. It's AR, and it's really interesting how it will fit in the whole like meter or not gameplay. So it's what this kind of things is always interesting for myself. Not only adding new weapons, new systems, new weapon mods or new scopes. We are adding something that can be tested only in game. Because literally, for example, in Russia we don't have such kind of guns here, and we will have an option to actually test it out and in game, and it's cool. I don't know. I never shot from like CMMG MK47 eventually, but I don't know. At least in game, we will have some kind of artificial appearance.
I've told people that I think Tarkov, for seeing how certain things just work, thermals, white light, night vision, it is probably the most realistic gunfighting game right now, PvP game. Trigicon has sent me their thermals in the past, and I kind of was like, cool. I don't know where to fit this into like my job and what I'm doing right now. But as soon as I used the Reap IR in Tarkov and was just seeing people through the woods, I was like, oh, like now I kind of see how this works better, the frame rate on it, and now I want one again.
Cool.
But I do think Tarkov a very realistic simulator as far as just visualization, seeing what it looks like.
I've always said it was like
presentation.
nomenclature the game. It's like an encyclopedia for like gun stuff and parts. Because if you like you know gun stuff already, like you're gonna know what mags go to what ammo. You know what attachments, what handguards go to what guns. You know you're already gonna know that if you know that in the real world, because it's basically a 1-to-1 ratio already. I remember when I was playing with Shroud for the first time like 4 years ago. I was teaching him the game off stream, and he was playing a lot of PUBG at the time, and he was like, "What do you mean there's more than one kind of AK ammo? What do you mean there's more than one kind of AK mag? What do you mean that there's like not one rifle bullet for all the rifles?" I'm like, "Well, this is not how it works in real life." And he was really just like baffled by that at the time, and it was really funny.
Cool.
That was the cool part for me, is that like the amount of real world weapon knowledge immediately 1-to-1 transfers into Tarkov. Like the learning curve, I guess, was probably way less dramatic for me than it would be for the average person who doesn't, you know, shoot or anything like that. Especially because like comm block stuff, I'm like, I know what all these things are.
It's
like
your
all
game.
this AK
It's
shit.
your game.
Yeah, like it was just really neat to see. Like, okay, certain games you have to like fucking unlearn what you actually know about gun shit to be able to figure out what works in the game. And Tarkov's the opposite. Like it converts extraordinarily well. And it's kind of funny to see, like, it's actually bringing more people into the gun fold because of, you know, the same stuff that we think is cool. Because there's a female streamer that I was playing with the other day that I'm blanking on her name right off the bat, but she was saying she walked into a gun store a couple of months ago and like was just looking at things on the shelf like, Magpul PMags, they make that in real life. I have this in Tarkov. Like this little shit like that is super, super cool.
The same things goes here in Russia too, because this is the thing like I really like to bring more people in. And there is a lot of companies here in Russia, around the world, gun companies. They are like really happy to have this increased visibility. But like the game gave this kind of visibility, especially for Russian gear companies, and this is really cool. And yes, everybody knows about the game because literally every gun store in Russia, like they know at least
cool.
they know about EFT, but they they kind of know me.
They should. They should. Yeah.
They're like, oh,
I'm
should give
kind
you
of a big
royalties.
deal.
I will not ask you about the patch or something. You just go ahead, like see
The
the
wins the
stuff.
wipe.
If only everybody had that common sense and respect.
Yes, like
We're looking at you, chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is really cool because the game can we can do a lot of things about the gun things, tactics, and gear within the game, and we cannot do it in real life, or it's too hard to do in real life. For example, you and US can have all of the Russian-made weapons. For example, a lot of like Russian-made weapon parts, ammunition, and stuff. We in Russia don't have an access for all of your weapons, all of your builds, and your fancy schmancy weapon parts. We need to smuggle them in our prison pockets, so it's too hard for us. But in the game, you can have the builds literally combining Western market, Eastern market all together, and it's really cool. Just as an like a thing in life of every gun lovers and like gun enthusiasts, like it's really cool to have at least some place when we will have an ability to combine all of the parts together with the gear, with clothing, with the different mentalities. So actually, it was a goal for myself to make some kind of game where USEX, Bears, like Russian, US, Western, Eastern will combine all together, not only in terms of gear, like weapons and weapon parts, but also with mentalities, because cultures, because the lore of the game has the thing that USEX and Bears will combine against evil.
It's like the trailer, the very first trailer, the two bears, the squad of bears and the USEC, they fight each other, and then the two guys survive in the scabs, and they're like, all right, we're going to work together.
We're gonna Here.
have this like
Well,
Mhm.
put through idea to have all of the people unite, like we were enemies once, now we're friends. Or something.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of that in the lore, I just got through the raid series the other day, and that was fucked up, man. Why did you do that to us? That ending was so harsh.
I love bad endings. Was my pure like demand to have such kind of ending.
I love that shit though, because it's like, you know, it's not like it's not like a fucking Disney movie. It's like everybody's fucking happy. Look at it. It's like, no, like life sucks. Get used to it. Like things are terrible.
The thing is, those black guys, it's unavoidable evil, like with the tremendous sizes, like super evil thing.
Yeah,
And
the Black Division unit in
yeah, you
yeah.
are like actually nothing to compare to this force. And the thing is that you can do anything. You can have the whole storyline or something. You can like a lot of goals, your feelings, your like family, your ideas, but it could be broken in 1 second with such kind of force, evil force, and it actually like the big part of lore that we still don't have in the game right now. But again, it will be soon. We will start to implement like to introduce the storyline quests within the game, and you will see like the lore finally.
Good stuff. I will say, while I'll take this time. Your game is educating people here in America on guns more than probably any organization in a positive way. Your game is doing kind of going back to what you're saying about where do we get so realistic that it could potentially be a problem. Your game is doing nothing but positives here in our country, and I appreciate that a lot as far as just people understanding guns better, parts, and when they go to buy a gun for the first time, they're not buying a basic like scav gun. They're going straight to a more reliable weapon, something better, kit, gear. So, and I appreciate that because most gamers that get into guns, if they play Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, the old one, they buy an NC Star as their first red dot, which is crap. They should be buying like an aim point or an EOTech. And your game, you're focusing more on more quality equipment, and that's the baseline for these new gun owners. So I appreciate that a lot. Your game's doing good things here.
Actually, it's really good to hear because I always wanted to have some kind of impact on society all around the world. It was like I always wanted to make some impact on Russian society, but it feels like I'm doing more for the whole world. And
Absolutely.
yeah, sometimes it's like I'm freaking out about this because all I want to do is, as I said, to bring all together, to bring all of the gun cultures together because it's fun, it's cool to feel, to shoot on the ranges, to like just to use it, just to like have some kind of gear, weapons, like tastes different kind of like if you don't have money for that kind of weapon like modification, you can go to the specific places like ranges, or you can commence some kind of training and see and feel this, and this is really cool. And if it brings people together all around the world and gun community, I'm like happy, like for sure.
Totally.
And, yeah, at least it will stay in positive, legal environment.
Of course. I
Is
mean,
that
shit.
last sentence? Did your attorney tell you to say that? No, it's super cool though to see like the irony, I guess, is the word, is not lost on me, that these things that were designed to kill people from other countries are actually, because of our dude brain and us just thinking the shit's really cool, bringing us all together and just kind of saying like, oh man, this is mechanical thing that kills people, super fucking cool.
I never thought about it like of course we all thought about it, of course, but again, for now, when I go to the ranges, it's nothing but mechanical things, and we have like shoot for the paper targets or bricks or buckets or something, and it's just Sometimes it's just for fun. Sometimes we train because it's fun. Like we train, we commence tactical training drills and stuff because it's fun. It's not only like we wanted to like go to the war or something. It's just fun. I don't know how to say it. Like it's interesting to use. It's I don't know.
It's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war. It's a phrase
Maybe
that's
not,
gone around for a long time. Like
myself in particular, like it's always a exciting thing for myself to understand that I'm capable, of doing some things. Commence night training, like shoot like on the distance with the like 308 or 338, like shoot from the RPG 7. It's cool, of course, of course it's cool. But again, you are capable to do it, and you receive some kind of I don't know, not calmness. It's like confidence,
tranquility.
confidence in yourself that okay, I'm able to do something in this kind of things like tactical military stuff, and it's cool. I don't know, like this gives me the most level of how to say it. I'm actually chilling and resting within this process. I never like actually have some kind of uh, like quality kind of resting, like take a break or something. It's always about work, work, work. But when I start to shoot actively every week, it gives me this kind of pressure release. And
Shooting guns it's super relaxing. Like it's like I used to fight MMA and like I would work like heavy bags and like maybe I'd have a bad day and I'd go into the gym kind of feeling like angry or maybe frustrated. And then when I finish, I'm like, I feel better, feel more relaxed because it's very like intense and shooting guns is frankly pretty intense, you know, even if you do it a lot.
right now we're working our SS on 12.11 like a lot, and it sometimes is really hard for us to maintain because work in a game developer studio about like modern realistic shooter is it's not that not the same as shooting in real life. It's work, it's a process, a lot of things like different kind of programs and stuff, and cooperation between different kind of people or different departments. It's more like IT business, and it's nothing like compared to actual shooting. And the shooting and the drills and the like trainings, it's like the natural thing for myself. Like it's a good weekend. So I think that it's the weekend right now for myself. If it's not, if it is without the shooting, the weekend is bad for me. Because like I like it's really good for myself to actually do some shooting stuff on the weekend, and it gives me like joy, chill, and everything, and relaxation.
Relaxation.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
Capability is cool. That's why I
Yes,
like it.
Yeah, knowing. I mean, training's so important. I mean, and that's actually something that's really big in like gun culture in the United States. Is a lot of people kind of like identify by their guns as like a personality, and they don't train with them. They just like have them, and like they don't
Hey man,
ever
you
bother.
don't no need to get personal.
Hey, buddy, and said, don't project to me, all right, bro? It's not my fault.
You don't say that, either of you.
You don't say that. But yeah, there's a big culture out there in like USM. Could be the same thing in Russia too, where like people just have these guns. Like, look at me, and they post pictures with the guns, but they never shoot them. You know, they don't actually go out and train with them and try and ready themselves. You know what I mean? And
there's not so like
Which is
we don't
fine.
have. Yeah, we don't have so many training companies here in Russia, especially because we don't have the culture too elevated, too expanded to the level when we need a lot of companies, a lot of gun facilities, like weapon training ranges, weapon training facilities. You have all of this in US, like professional kind of things led by
Saturated.
professional. Yeah,
People
guys.
take it for granted too, which sucks.
true.
Yeah.
It's
Big
actually
time.
kind of funny because there's a lot of like, for example, Center T in Russia. Like a lot of their business is mostly just coming over to the States to train us, which is really
Those
really interesting how that works out. I guess it's the barrier to entry on civilian gun ownership in Russia.
Yeah, like it really differs. And the thing is that we are struggling right now. Gun community in Russia started to develop and it's struggling because we have a lot of politicians, a lot of things ongoing too, and they want to uh, forbid things around. Even we have strict things around the guns here in Russia. We don't have the like Second Amendment or something. We just need to find not buy licenses, get license, like have the smooth bore weapons for 5 years and so on. It's still they're still trying to limit us a lot, and it's not cool because again they're afraid, I guess, because it's not about like the weaponized citizen or something. It's about, oh, they must be doing something wrong. Why should they have need like assault looking weapons and gear? Like it's not cool.
There is a
It's right.
there's a
Yeah.
definite correlation there, Nikita, that some people have depending on their experience level with the world, that firearms inherently are connected to violent individuals that mean to do others harm. When in depending on where you're at in the U.S., some people agree with that too, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way that, in my opinion, let's call it non-critical thinkers that will not go above and beyond to research something or educate themselves will kind of follow. They'll hear that from a peer group, and next thing you know, that becomes their thing. They're like, oh, guns are bad. Like, and I get it all the time, whether it be on Twitch or on social media. I'm sure the rest of us deal with it too at times. I just do my best to educate. Like, I'm not a big fan of like, well, screw you if you don't like it. I'm just a big fan of education, and I think that one of the big problems that you're facing right now is with that added when they're looking to add legislation is, and I know what you're thinking is kind of like, man, we already got to jump through all these hoops. Like, why add more? Like, it's unfair because guys like you approaching the system in a legal manner and following all the steps to do it properly are still being punished.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
we deal with that here too. People try to infringe on our current rights, and they try to just chip away at it. And I don't know. I'm not gonna assume to understand the reasoning behind it, because some of these individuals, in my opinion, I wouldn't call a plumber to do my roofing. So you have these individuals that have no experience and
Course.
no circle or cabinet of experience to draw from creating laws.
Mhm.
So it's frustrating to me because you have these inexperienced individuals that are trying to set forth this information based on no real knowledge. So
Yeah.
I feel bad for you.
Yes, and I think you have the same thing, but in much more big matter.
Sure,
Like
sure.
they try to look you to. You have so complex laws in different like states in
Yeah.
every state. People like who want to link their lives with guns and all of the related stuff. They move to Texas because again,
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
1911, two world wars, boy.
yeah,
Or Tennessee, or Mississippi, or
yeah, I don't
Idaho.
understand like the full auto thing because you can have full auto weapons, but I don't understand. You need to pay a lot for them or what?
Yes.
Paperwork.
Pre-86 manufacture date, you can legally own, going through the correct process. If you're an SOT, let's say you were Lucas and you filled out all your paperwork and you pay the $500 to $700 a year.
Which is stupid. Nobody should do it.
No
But
one should do it, but hey, look, you can get a saw, and he gets to enjoy something like that responsibly under all under legal access.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here and say it shouldn't be a thing. I'm not going to say it should be a thing. I'm kind of in that position of like, hey, you know what? I do all I can locally. There's not much I can do nationally, but I can start locally. I can influence the people I interact with positively. I can influence people through via my social media as positively as I can and help educate. And hopefully that
Education's so
education
important.
spreads from person to person. Next thing you know, we have a more intellectually based firearms user group than we had in the past. Like
Yeah.
in the '90s when it was like, oh, the Clinton era ban came up late '90s, early 2000s, and everyone just there was a huge influx of manufacturers, part manufacturers, firearms manufacturers, ammo manufacturers. It just blew up in the U.S. and people just still people still say, like, why do you need all that? Like, well, I don't need to give you a justification. There's no justification necessary. I don't ask you why you bought your Tesla. I don't care why you bought your Ferrari. I don't care why you bought your Harley and you modify it. Leave me alone. Let me do my thing. In my case, I do it as a professional. So I get paid to shoot, and I enjoy it. And for me, I don't do defensive and I don't do tactical. It's performance based only. So the correlation of firearms to me has never been for the human aspect. It's been for the training aspect. It's been for the betterment of the individual and to achieve a certain performance goal and never have a ceiling.
Yeah, Nikita, real quick on the full auto thing. It's pretty much the same as anything else in this country or pretty much anywhere. Whereas if you pay the government enough money, you can do whatever you want. As long as somebody in the government is getting paid, they don't really give a fuck.
Money. Same thing in Tarkov. Money rules the world in the game and in real life. You have money, you can get whatever you want. You buy as many meta HKs, as many slicks, as much AP, ammo.
I'm still butthurt about Bitcoin getting nerfed the day after I maxed out my Bitcoin.
Everybody gets butthurt about it being too much, and now they're butthurt that it's too cheap. Like, make up your fucking mind, everyone.
I just want to be bothered.
You just want to be angry about something.
I'll give you something to be angry about.
A lot of weapons here in Russia, it's forbidden for the civilians to have this kind of weapon. But it's always an option to shoot from mil-spec AKs. Yes. Like, it's not. I just said, like, it's always an option. Of course, it's not. It's not an option for everybody. It's still a hard thing for the gun enthusiast who, like, real love weapons and stuff to shoot full auto. You, like, for example, you can't shoot with full auto even in ranges because, again, it's civilian ranges and it's not allowed to use such kind of things.
I think full auto is kind of overrated if it's not a belt fed or a pistol caliber carbine, personally. Because like everybody uses semi-auto. I mean, I like semi-auto. It works. Controlled pairs. You know what I mean? But that's just my personal opinion.
It's just cool. It's just cool to pray and spray. You know, like
it is fun. It is fun to Magnum. Me and Brandon are gonna do that tomorrow. We got a range stream coming up. We're just gonna shoot AKs all day, and that's all we're gonna do and chill.
By the way, how's ammo right now in terms of prices?
I feel like nature is starting to heal.
It's coming
back.
It's
like 7.62, especially in 9mm, is starting to come back down to earth.
I need 9mm so bad. I have none.
The prices, I don't know if the prices are ever going to go back to what they were, but you can go on and buy ammo now. It's not like it's all gone. You can buy it, and it's not, exorbitantly priced like it was months ago. But it's not 18 cents a round for 9mm like it used to be. It's still 30 plus, 50 plus, 40 plus.
What I'm kind of hoping for is that so many people, like, let's say nothing fucking crazy like COVID or BLM or anything happens in the next 2 years. So many ammo manufacturers, not just in the US, but internationally, put on so many more employees. They bought so much more equipment. Yeah. I'm hoping that drops the price long term, but I'm also not sure because there's a lot of bottlenecks, like, primers and things like that just seem to be a just total bitch.
Like primers from Italy, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a buddy of mine was trying to put in a group buy for primers the other day, and I think it was serious. It was like a $1.2 million group buy for primers, and they wouldn't even give him a call back. Like, that's how bad they are.
Wow.
I've noticed going by all the distributors and everything like that, and having kind of like a having a relationship with MagTech, ammo's gone up for me roughly 40 cents. And projected it's going to come back down, but just like it's happened historically, it never goes back to where it was. Long term, like you said, Brent, I think long term, since they are bringing on these people, and you know what, I always worry about that because when I know that when you remember the last time this happened and everyone kicked into high gear, it stabilized in less than a year and a half.
Yeah, what was that? Probably 2012, like Sandy Hook.
And then a lot of those people were out jobs. And I hate to see that. But, the the unfortunate fact is when this happens and the supply and demand happens, and it goes all the way to supply chain. Like this isn't just from like, oh, we can't make bullets. It's like, well, you can't get the material to make the bullets anymore because COVID kind of did a thing to everybody. So this is unique in that sense.
Right. It wasn't just pure demand. There was
Can we
a
get a
lot going
COVID
on.
and Tarkov to like change the economy and make
That
it
was
different?
thinking that, yeah.
Could we
It
do
just
something?
it just kills 10% of the players' accounts, and they just lose the game.
Yeah. You've escaped permanently. You're banned now.
Actually,
please no.
if you played EFT a lot, you can see that Terra Group Lab is like biological something. So yeah, they actually done something bad in terms of battle viruses and stuff. So it's possible to have some kind of plague within the game. Right,
We got scavs coughing on us and like
or something.
Zombie
So
scavs.
actually, COVID is not something like really dangerous. It's dangerous as hell, but it's not like Ebola or something. So I don't know. We'll see. Actually, I never thought about it, but it's possible to add some kind of outbreak. Not zombie outbreak, guys. Relax. Not zombie outbreak.
You heard it here, folks. Confirmed. Zombie
zombie
Tarkov.
coming next wipe, everyone.
Yes, maybe right after next.
That'd be a fun Halloween event. I honestly like the Undead Nightmare for Red Dead was probably one of my favorite DLCs of all time. I don't know if you guys played it.
Halloween is a great time to have such kind of events in the game.
Yeah,
like,
totally. Like
'cause
every scav's a cultist.
Yeah, just imagine
Everyone.
the zombie shooter with the EFT mechanics.
It would be amazing. It would be fucking so good. I'm sold. I mean, you could take Tarkov Gunplay and make any game and it'd be good.
Can we just copy paste Tarkov into another game and just make against zombies?
Sounds like free money to me.
Yeah. I'm pre-ordering it now.
It wasn't about money.
It's about making a good product.
If we will just like add the monetization within the game, we'll make a ton of money, ton of money more. But we will not do it at all because this is
appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, this is a print. We want to make some noise, not that noise with the like monetization stuff. So we need to shake all of the society in terms of like we need to make something good. And,
I mean that's what happens when you make a good product. Like a good product sells itself, and that's what's so great about Tarkov. And one of the reasons why it sold so well is you didn't spend $0 on marketing. Like people found out like, what's this? Tarkov, let me check this out. Holy fuck, this game is sick. And they keep playing it. And like that's when like whenever I see games that are being published and I see a bunch of hashtag ad streams, bunch of broadcasters being paid to play it, I'm just like, it looks like their marketing budget was bigger than their development budget. And so they put more money into basically publicizing the product instead of actually just making a good product. And like people get it twisted because as soon as you go from trying to make something good to sell something, you're diminishing your product entirely. Like, and that goes for all types of content or any kind of product you're trying to make.
I've had friends of mine be like, wow, the Edge of Darkness edition's expensive. And I'm like, I'm fine with paying the one-time price and not being plagued by people paying to play. You know, can you buy money? Like, I'm glad you can't buy money in the game. One-time purchase of $100 for a game that I'll never have to spend another dollar on, I'm down. I think that's people, again, should be thankful that you're not trying to monetize the game and let people buy dollars in the game. $1 of real currency for 1,000,000 rubles, and then you have unlimited slick armor, and like that would break the game. Also, just from a economy perspective too, the game would be, in my opinion, it'd be ruined if you could buy money. It would just make the currency in the game more fiat than it is because it's a game. But so I appreciate that a lot. I'm happy I paid the $100 and whatever dollars it is, and I don't have to buy it again. I'm good. I've got it.
For sure.
I'm in. I think it's big.
About the marketing money, though, I did have to ask one thing because I cannot. What's up?
Is that
I have an angle.
Nice.
Oh,
I
don't
cannot
flex on us that hard. Jeez, dude. Jeez.
I can't give enough.
Sorry, I just had to flex it, dude.
I can't give enough credit though to the Raid series because that was so fucking well done, and I just had to know like was that where like your, I guess if you had a marketing budget for Tarkov, is that where it went? Because that was like, even the first episode, I was like, this is fucking better than any of the gunplay I've seen on Netflix. You know, like
it was so good. Like I could tell a lot of the work went into the post effects and the VFX and stuff.
Yeah, we spent some money, of course, and especially for the last episode, it was big. Last episode of the post production of the last episode cost us 1.2 million USD, and only
Just the post production.
Wow. That's
post production
respectable.
of the fifth episode, on the fifth episode.
Fuck.
Yeah, and
Damn.
I can tell you the exact number, but it's more than
That's not
5.
necessary.
More than 5, and it's not as big as like for the full feature film, like Hollywood level. Like it's
Sure.
nothing actually compared
It's
to
better than
Hollywood.
most of that Hollywood shit though, man. Like it was really good.
Yes, it's like the efforts we did, and we received like the feedback in terms of money. Like the game gave us the ability to shoot this kind of film, this kind of miniseries, and a lot of people continuing to ask me and the other colleagues, like, will you do the second season? Will you make full feature film? Like, it was so cool.
Let me be a scab boss.
It was really cool. Yes, I really like that. I really like the result, but I didn't like the process. It was
Okay.
pure hell. Agonizing, motherfucking hell pain in the ass. It was too hard for myself to ever repeat it again.
That is super interesting to me because as a creative, I would have thought you were in your fucking element with that series. Like I would have thought that was really, really fucking fun. But apparently, I am massively underestimating the amount of hell that went into it.
It was fun, but not like it was fun at some points, at some like periods. It was fun. For example, some of the shooting periods, like exact shooting things. How to say that? I don't know, like on the sets, shooting on the set, filming on the set. It was really cool because it's like the production. It's like wow, cameras, like the actors, like everything, like moving, like props and stuff. Like it was really cool
Show
experience.
that pressure pad clean.
Yeah, and
Okay, you got that one. All right, cool.
it's Unity Tactical.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you got the Ingall, like the OEM.
Oh no, I got the one that's like issued for it. And everything.
Cool.
Okay,
And,
you did. Okay, cool.
some of that was really cool, especially the interaction between like the crew members and stuff. But it was a production hell because it was a lot of problems, like human-based factors. It was a lot of problems on the post-production.
Yeah.
Like a pain in the ass. Like the results are like good, but the process was not too good. And even if I decide to shoot something like a Raid miniseries, I will do it on US soil only, where
Sure.
the industry is.
Come to
'Cause
San Antonio, BRCC. We'll help you with that, bro.
Yeah,
Russia-
we're available for a very reasonable rate per
Yes.
hour. We would love to be
$5 million.
involved.
Yeah, you go ahead. How to say it? You go ahead and book your roles in the full feature film. Like book your.
Yes. I just
Yeah.
want to be a scav that doesn't die and just shows up in every scene. I'll be cool with
I'm
that.
gonna say dies immediately.
Damn it.
Head eyes immediately.
Yeah.
So
I come
again,
back.
like long story short, I will love to repeat the whole process, but it will be done differently, like at all, because what was done by producer group and like all of the struggles that we have with the director of the film, for example, he's good a guy. I mean, we together with him had a lot of troubles with different kind of things, and it's not a good experience. It was not a good experience for myself, but I learned.
Was it that hard working with him?
What?
Was it hard working with him?
I think he means that they had like trouble like together, not like he had trouble with the director,
like,
right?
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah, and but again, I got a lot of knowledge. I got a lot of knowledge, especially how to make it again, like in a proper way.
As they do
So
on his own.
So I guess it was a painful experience, but still, it was an experience. So I guess it's all
Hey,
right.
you learn from pain better than you do any comfort.
Yeah, so exactly, yes.
That's what Tarkov is, really. I mean, like, you think anybody gets by an EFT by just like, oh man, I'm having an easy time, everything's going well. Like, you learn from dying and being like, oh, I shouldn't run here.
No, it's just
Or
punches down where it hurts all day.
punch myself in the dick every day to warm up for Tarkov. It's great.
Dick punching. Ugh.
Especially the first wipe. First wipe. You have to get past that first wipe.
Ah, man, I miss the first. I remember the first time I played Tarkov. I was just like, everything. I was always discovering something new. Like every time I open the game, I'm like, oh, new loot, oh, new item, like new build for a gun or whatever. And I envy people who play it now because there's so much more compared to when I started.
But you also kind of got to see the process too. That's got to be.
Oh
Cool,
yeah, I mean,
I'm still on my first wipe.
Yeah, I mean, being able to see the game like grow, like literally from the beginning, because like I was like the first Tarkov streamer. Like I remember when that like BSG literally told me like, hey, you can stream the game and like, you're able to start streaming, and I was like, holy shit, and like just seeing like how far the game has come, and like seeing like all of like like the changes in metas and like every update. I've literally been through every single wipe.
Mhm.
And it's crazy just how much the game has grown and changed, like not only as just like the game, but as a community. Because I remember going into factory raids and it would take like 5 minutes to queue in, and I'd be by myself. I would just kill scavs. There's nobody there. And then now it's just like, usually late wipe, it can kind of happen. Sometimes you'll have some dead raids, but the game is so much more active than it used to be. And I always appreciate that and never take it for granted.
And still, there are a lot of things to come still. Because, for example, in 12.11 that we are making right now, finalizing right now, we will have several game changers. First of all, it will be a first iteration of weapon malfunctions. So we will have the misfires, and we will have the actual durability model that will, like, the durability will be decreased in different kind of factors. And
Is there ammo durability or is it just weapon?
It's just weapon durability, but ammo will influence on durability burn ratio. And
So like high AP ammo will shred down a gun faster. Okay.
silencers, dust covers, and stuff, as much things as possible will influence on the initial durability of weapons, and you will receive misfires for now. So the first iteration will consist just only about the misfires, and of course working durability. So you'll, like, the gun with low durability will have like
Inaccuracy.
accuracy, like not only inaccuracies, it will how to say it in English, like goddamn, I don't know how to say it.
Does it have to do with like the gas?
You have like the
The
spread.
fire rate?
No. You have like the spread, initial
ammo, not MOA.
like initial spread of the hits, like on the target. When you shoot a target, you have the initial spread of bullet hits. But like, if you have like a low durability, this spread can be moved.
Like
in
if the
different
barrel's
ways.
shot out or your gun's not zeroed?
Yes.
Okay.
And it will bring like the additional, like this kind of feeling that your weapon needs to be treated well. And
I remember you commented, sorry to cut you off, that like guns that we find as well as that we buy from traders won't always be 100% condition as well. Okay.
So the traders will have different guns. They have like the how to say it in English again. I'm starting to running out of words.
Precision, deviation.
Barrel
If
shot out.
if you will buy the gun, you will have the durability based on some kind of. Goddamn, I need to translate this word. Just a second. Sorry. It's a simple word. But it's
Is it
always
going to be a simple hit F or pound R to tap rack or fix the malfunction, or is there going to be a button associated with each type of malfunction clearance?
Actually, range. The word is range. So actually, word range. Like you again. Let me finish my like sentence just before that. So, the stock weapons, the basic weapons from traders will have basic durability from the range of durability.
Like,
Right,
like 70 to
Yeah, yeah,
100%. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay.
yes,
Gotcha.
exactly, yeah. And some of weapons will be like pristine, really good, like with a good quality. Some of weapons will be
Maladies.
bad quality. For example, ARs from Peacekeeper will be better than ARs
Makes
from
sense.
Russian like manufacturers and stuff. And scavs will also have different tiers like of durability. So low level scavs will have shitty weapons, and raiders. Um,
They have the good
most
stuff.
Will you also make the AKs from Peacekeeper be super shitty like American made stuff?
I like
the
it.
AK1,
I
the
agree.
AK-101 and shit.
possible. It's possible, and
Is,
yeah.
is,
So
is it going to be as simple as just when you get one, you go to the trader, say repair, and it's all the way to 100? Because 100%. Because I personally wouldn't like that. I'd rather be stuck with kind of the crappy gun, and maybe I can only repair it to a certain amount. Otherwise, I
yeah,
got to go get a new
Diminishing
one.
returns are already a
Yeah.
part of the game.
yeah,
Or maybe even
yeah.
buying new parts, things like that on the fleet.
Oh, that's
So
true.
we have already like the durability system with the armor, and it's like max durability level, and
Yeah, and then it
the
kind of
yeah, and they
comes
kind of
down.
like dropping if you try to repeat repairs
Yeah.
again and
It's like
again.
maybe
armor
like
already.
maybe
Armor
like
already works
swapping
like
out
that.
a barrel is going to be like swapping out a face visor or something like that, where like it'll bring the overall thing back to
That would
It's
be
not
cool.
it's not the thing yet, because again, like durability is linked to the basis, the basic part of weapons. So it's not about like barrels and
I mean,
stuff, but
it's just the receiver, right? Just like
yeah.
the main part of the weapon, like the main, yeah, the receiver. Sorry.
So this is the first thing, like the be a game changer. I think. I hope. I'm pretty positive it will be a game changer.
I
And
remember
this,
in the alpha. The alpha was super fun. Like you'd be like da 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 click, and your guy would like you do the cool animation, and like mastery would affect like how you would rack the weapon. So like AK slow pull level 2, he'd do a little faster, and then he'd do like the really cool like underhand.
Awesome. I can't wait to have to level up my weapon malfunction clearing skills again. Yeah, that's gonna be neat.
and the second thing that I can tell you is total rework of sights, like red dots, optics, and everything. So we
Stats
like
too.
In what regard?
uh, uniformity, like radicals, sharpness of radical, sharpness of dots, sizes, MOA sizes of dots, like the accurate approach to make it more realistic. Because again, we have this shitty PK06. It's
Such
so
a shit optic.
yeah, it's
So
in real
bad.
life pure shit, like so bad.
I
And
owned one and I sold it in like 3 days. I hated it so
You
much.
shoot it and it loses 0. Like
now it's a relic. Now it's a relic. It's cost a lot, because a lot of like US friends and Europe friends ask myself like, where can I have PKO6? I will like give you all the money I have to buy it.
Dude,
So
it's one of the it's like looking through an EOTech if the EOTech's glass was made out of a Lay's potato chip. It's fucking awful.
yeah,
Well, I mean, people use it in Tarkov because it's the only. It's like one of the only red dots in the game that actually is like small, crispy. It doesn't like disappear when you aim at the sky. Like it's the only one that really works, and that's why everybody uses it. All the other ones are just like these huge smudgy dots, and they look like shit.
yes, that's why we did a lot of work to make these dots not smoothie, really like as much realistic as possible, like in real life. And it's not only about radicals and marks and stuff. It's also about the actual sighting picture, the actual distances.
Eye relief and like
Yes,
yeah, the distance from the yeah.
now it's more real. It's more uniform. Like it looks like in real life. Again, with the help of all the experience we got from ranges, from the actual ranges, and a lot of like sites that I have. I also
Are you gonna add the LCO? Is that gonna come to Tarkov?
LCO, yes, of course.
I love this thing. It's so awesome.
They discontinued it though.
I know it
What
sucks. I liked it.
One MOA. I
Why
think.
did they discontinue it?
I don't know. I'll have to ask Shane that. He's the
I
COO.
don't know, like the pistol red dots RMR, like 2G RMRs. Do we actually have like do we have a version, one MOA version of it? Because I know like 3 MOA version and 6 MOA version. Do
think
we
it's-
actually have one MOA?
I think it's a 3. It seems like a. Oh well, yeah. It seems like a 3. I don't know if there needs to be a 1. I don't know how much of a difference that would make gameplay wise, except for just more options. I mean, you could have triangle reticle 1, which I don't
hate,
like ever. Yeah.
It's gross.
The one with that's all amber illumination. You can barely see through the tint. The glass is super blue. 1 MOA, 3 MOA, 6 MOA. I mean, you could throw all of them in there. I just don't know how it would change.
You could always
gameplay
just have reticle option changes. So on an RMR, it's like you just have big dot, medium dot, small dot, just like how you change.
You can change bright. It would be cool to toggle the brightness of it, and
Especially for night
vision.
vision. Yes. Yep. Exactly.
And then you basically, because you can basically then create it into a 1 MOA dot by just dimming it, which you can kind of do with a 3 MOA RMR anyway. You just dim it. It's smaller, more refined, more precision.
And an option to have changeable brightness levels is also planned, but not for this patch, but it's planned.
Cool, nice.
So, like, pretty big changes are coming in the next patch. Unfortunately, not everything that we wanted, because again, we're already delaying the patch because we wanted to make it like early June, but it's not possible, unfortunately. But it will consist of pretty interesting stuff, especially like new weapons, new gear, the factory expansion, the boss of the factory, this like changes that I described, malfunctions, the reworked sites, and also there is several things to do. So it will be pretty decent, like not decent, it will be a good patch actually.
The
And
one
of course, everybody is asking about we will
be wiped.
We will.
Chat, the next wipe will happen when you take a shit if you're not disgusting, all right? Go to the
you
bathroom.
need to subscribe to everybody in this conversation and wait for the signal.
Everybody go follow Nikita's Instagram. That's where you can get the wipe information.
So
everybody
Nikita
just go
actually
follow his gram.
he texted us privately. We know when the wipe is going to be, so I would love it if you just kept messaging us in our chats and things, asking us when.
After a subscription, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Actually, I do
Twitch
have
friend.
I have a more of a long-term question as far as wipes go in the final version of Tarkov. Is that are wipes going to be more of like a server-based thing like in other games, or is it still going to be kind of a seasonal thing
I think
in the final version of Tarkov?
The model, we kind of concluded that we will have two on one account. We will have two separate profiles or something. One of these profiles will be permanent main account profile, and the second will be seasonal account. So if you want to participate in seasons, you will have a slightly like altered gameplay features or stuff, like maybe different some kind of things within the game suitable for this concept of like seasonal based wipes. So because I personally really like wipes, especially early
they
wipes.
keep it fresh.
They do.
Yeah, it's this like the it's like the gameplay that we wanted to have actually, because it's more like survival thing, struggling. And,
you're finding stuff, and
I hope there's like a hardcore Deadly Slob Pestilli like server, you know, like so like, you know, even like harder economy, maybe like changes the container or whatever. Stuff like that I think would be super fun.
Yeah, most likely it will be something like different. It will be more hardcore, seasonal based thing, and it will have the influence to the main account. So, but the main account will be like prolonged in terms of leveling a lot. So like there will be like long. You will need to a really long time to actually level it, because again it will be only a main account or something, and it will be linked to an actual like arena account too. So the system of like all of the intersections of profiles, account, and things are still like in develop. And
are they going to be separate servers? So a permanent account player isn't going in with all the non-permanent, because the permanent account.
That's probably how it works.
Oh no, because again, the seasonal based thing must be like
its own
separated.
its own
yeah,
world.
like everybody on the server must be wiped. Because
Yes. Mhm.
again, if you will try to,
To be fair, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that will
Cool.
be an optional thing just for those who like the idea of wipes. And again, it's
Wipes are
like,
fun.
yeah, it's like
best
the
time.
thing is that it's this still will be an option. I think, I hope that you'll be able to benefit from this kind of mode. So if you will play like seasonable mode, you will have an ability to earn something and transfer it to your main account.
Clothing, cosmetics,
Yeah.
So, for
like
example, yeah,
face paint.
Tarkov should really just be called Escape from the Wipe. Escape from Wipe is what it should be called.
I mean, everybody just wishes the wipe early game lasted longer. I think that's something a majority of the EFT community wants, is that like they love that feeling of like, oh fuck, an AK,
nothing.
dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then they're like, oh, an AK, this isn't worth 500,000 rubles, not worth one cell in my inventory. People lose that sense of like
They don't wanna
enjoyment
grab everything.
for needing things. You know, eventually you don't need anything because you have everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people really want. Is and
It
that's
gets
why people
boring
enjoy
to
the wipes.
run the killer armor in every raid.
Yep,
It gets
I agree.
boring.
I agree. I mean,
I
I've
have
been
an
saying that for a
LPVO
long time.
question, Nikita.
Mm.
So your LPVOs in game go from 1 to the max magnification. Is there ever a plan for scaling from 1 to those other magnifications?
Yes. Because right now it's done like within the structure of the game object. Like for example, LVPO scope, you have like folders, like components, and this components like 1x and 7x, and it's just like we are changing the models at the cameras within this component. So it's not something like coded or something. It's just switching on and off different kind of components. And we need to recode things to have like the variable zoomification.
Yeah, variable zoom.
Variable zoom. That's
Variable
correct.
zoom.
That's it.
And
Very good English. Very good.
I
Don't
would
worry
say
about
because like I thoroughly enjoy the now this is not very popular optics, but I really do enjoy the Valide. I enjoy the EOTech Voodoo.
Voodoo.
As far as like a versatile scope on an intermediate gun and intermediate caliber, I find them to be extremely awesome. I have no complaints, but there are times where it's like, you know what, bumping this thing to 3.5 or 4 would be pretty solid right
It
now
would be
for
nice.
the area I'm covering for my squad. So
That's-
like again, not complaining. I love the LPV implementation of LPVOs. I freaking love it, and I can't wait to see what you guys do with it.
as
I
somebody who-
will. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, as somebody who uses snipers all the time in Tarkov, I really wish the other sniper scopes weren't all like 20x's, because like you don't in Tarkov. There's literally never a time when you need that much zoom. Like the Voodoo is enough for pretty much every distance, and it's like you're looking at a guy and like you're literally looking into his freaking skin cells, and like you try like he runs away and you're like, oh frick, where is he? And it's just so much zoom, and I just hope the sniper scopes get some love.
There is one thing on scopes. The Voodoo is my favorite. It's on a gun that is not meta, so nobody ever steals it off of my body. That is the good thing about having meta guns that people take instead of your own M4A1. The issue with some of the LPVOs right now is on 1X, you have so much field of view on your screen that normally, I mean, I'm holding the gun out, my eye relief is 4 inches. That 1X is not this much of the screen of what I'm seeing with my eyeballs. It's actually in reality more like this. And that would make LPVOs a little less, like the Voodoo on 1X, a little less meta
Jarring.
and overpowered. Well, I feel like it's overpowered because I see this much, but in reality, it's actually like, it's more like this, 4 inches away.
Right.
Just zooming it out a little bit. I don't think the other scopes are quite as bad.
That's what I said. That's what I said about the total rework of scopes.
Yep.
So
So
this
it'll be
also will be changed. Yeah.
Be
So
sweet.
the ACOGs will grade
Oh, yeah.
again. Yeah. 'cause
Yeah,
they are-
yeah. They were,
Can you
I
please?
agree.
Are you guys adding different reticles for ACOGs? Because like the 2 reticles that are in are terrible.
We modeled 3 more different ACOGs, so we will have the game like EFT will be the game that with like the most count of ACOGs.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
I was
And,
telling our TurgeCon rep about, he hadn't played Tarkov, and I was like, yeah, Tarkov is where I've actually been able to use your thermals. Like, that's where I've actually used them. They were like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, it's the most expensive thermal in the game. It's awesome. And they were like, oh, that's super cool. And they didn't know. They like it. So
Yeah. Like so many things to come. Like we modeled 5 times more things, and we have like pretty interesting packs. We want to add them at the same moment. One of the specs called dirt cheap things.
So
It's like,
PKO6.
it's like dirt cheap weapon parts, like stocks from for the ARs, like pistol grips, like made of wood and shit combined together. So it's like pure, like and will cost like they will cost a little. And the second pack called Russian things, and a lot of Russian weapon parts, which are really good. And I think you will like them because we are
PLAG.
like we are making not only peanut.
there's
It's
bad,
yes,
dim,
yes,
horrible.
it's
Yeah,
bad. Yes,
I can't even use it as a
but
prop.
it's iconic.
It is. It's
It's
bigger
one of
than
the
I
fir-
thought too. It's huge.
That was one of the first holographic sites in the game, or red dots or whatever. Back in the alpha, that was like one of the only ones.
Nikita, are you looking to take advantage of the modularity of the AR systems and the M4s in game? Like, obviously, the upper is what makes it mid length rifle length or carbine length gas. Are you are there plans to implement just uppers? Because that would be super titties.
Just uppers, you mean?
So, like, let's say I bought an M4 from Peacekeeper.
Take it apart.
If I was a certain level, I could just pull the upper off and put, like, say a BCM upper, whatever upper it was going to be. But I could change it from a carbine length to a mid length to a rifle length depending on the upper I picked. I think that'd be so cool.
You can make it right now. You can disconnect the upper with all of the connected barrel and the gas blocks and stuff. You can do it now.
No, absolutely. But then you have to build it. I meant, like, if you're going to be like any pre-made samples, like already in game.
Okay,
Kind of like we go shopping.
Yeah, okay, I see. It's possible.
Like
Also,
Mechanic has it.
we modeled a lot of smaller parts like pins and stuff, the buffer springs, the end plates, and many other things like bolt release button. Oh, bolt release was bolt catch release, mag release buttons, mag wells, and other shit. Like a lot of parts in the IR eventually. And yeah, we will edit them in game too, because just for the variety. Because literally for myself, I said it before, the AR builds is the most fun for me.
Yeah.
AR build
So
is the
much.
most fun because I'm sorry, Brandon, but AKs is like we cannot remove pins that.
Oh, not with that fucking attitude.
I wish
Anything
I
is
could.
possible with a hydraulic press.
Yes, but it will be illegal here in Russia because it's impossible. I wish
You
I
know,
could.
I noticed Lucas just grabbed his exfil helmet and stuff, and Lucas
Yeah.
actually did a whole portion of content where he did some runs with the visor down, and that
Yeah,
actually made me wonder. You mentioned advanced like visor mechanics where eventually, because I have like my K6 Alton over here. If I have my Alton
We're
on,
helmet buddies.
right?
Пошли
Oh,
нарезать.
sick, yeah.
Aim my rifle.
Do you have the little
I can't-
the little
I
armors?
can't cheek it. It's not there. I have to lift up my visor
Yeah.
and look through my scope.
They
Or
they
have a
won't
stock
let me on the bus
pull it,
without my
right?
helmet.
In order to bring it up with
I
my
know,
visor
Brandon.
down. Is that still
Oh,
something
look at that.
you want to do?
Mandibles.
Tarkov?
So you were talking. That's a nice little airframe there. You were talking about rework on LPVOs and eye relief. The two, I would say, a couple of the main, I would say, unrealistic, and granted, all work in progress, I'm sure, is getting a sight picture which would help bring the meta down on visors and certain helmets. So with this setup right here, like a large visor, not like the little ballistic one, you can't get a sight picture unless you have a riot shield style stock like on the MCX, which could make certain accessories in the game really cool for like the MP5, the MCX. But right now you can ADS every gun, every optic.
I was going to add too, it
Every
also
single
makes
thing.
folding a stock actually usable and viable,
Yeah,
because
like-
right now nobody folds their stock on their gun unless they're putting it in their inventory. Whereas if you fold the stock with your alt visor
Yeah.
down, you can now
But-
aim with the
Or
disadvantage
lasers.
of it. Yeah,
Or
lasers, of
lasers.
course. Yeah.
I totally agree that yes, exactly. We actually
That's super
have this,
cool.
we have this kind of exactly this stock modeled for the MCX, and just for these purposes. Yes, yes. But
That's awesome.
but you must understand that people got used with
Right.
all of this stuff.
Make them
and
uncomfortable again, Nikita. That, like you said,
Yeah,
like
screw 'em.
being uncomfortable is how you learn.
it will be too uncomfortable for them. They will like whine a lot. Like there will be disturbance in the force, you know.
They
like,
whine when
Good,
you added an
good.
SVD. They whine when you add a new gun. Like they complain about everything. Like honestly, Nikki, I'm gonna be honest. One of my biggest fears is that you guys don't make the game the way you want just because you're scared of your own community. I'm so afraid that you don't add things just because you're like, oh man, they're gonna complain. I don't want them to complain. I want you to just change it and just be like, all right, guys, test it out for 2 fucking weeks, and then we'll talk about changing it. I want to see you guys follow through with your passion project and make the game that you want to make. Not that they want to play, not that I want to play. I want to see the game that you want to make, Nikita. And I think that's what makes EFT a good game, is because it pushed boundaries and made people uncomfortable, and they had to learn.
And that's almost kind of the meme with Tarkov, though,
It
because
is,
like the whole
yeah.
lore of Tarkov is like, hey, Nikita is not a loving god. He hates you. He
Yeah.
really does, and he wants
It's
to
good
make you
marketing.
uncomfortable, and that's cool.
It's good marketing.
Yeah.
It's consistent.
That scares me, dude. Like literally, it does. Like I want to see you and your team make your passion project, not what anybody else wants to play.
yeah, you know my point. I maybe it's more like suitable for me and more easier for me to speak it in Russian, because in English maybe it's too hard for myself to explain myself correctly. But if I wish and if I could, I would do as much like hardcore as possible, and the game will be played differently, and the player base will be cut in half or even in third parts, maybe even 10 times less, and it would be like totally okay for myself, because again, the initial game concept is something like this that we have right now, like 80%, but this 20% is pure hell. It's pain, it's struggle, it's unhealthy.
I truly believe that's what people want, though, Nikita. Like I think people want the struggle. Like I think
back
people
for it.
like this is what I would imagine happening. So say for example, for whatever reason, you lock out secured container. Just using this as an example. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. People like, oh, fuck you, Nikita. I hate you. I'm never playing your game again. They'll come onto my stream or Landmarks or Pestleys, whoever, and we'll still be playing the game. And we'll be having a great time. Be like, oh, fuck, look, I killed this guy. He had a red key card. We get out of the raid. We're hyped as fuck. And then they're like, oh, man, that actually looked kind of sick. Oh, wait, no, I'm still mad that I can't shove that up my asshole anymore. I'm mad. And then they're like, oh, man, like I just watched Landmark like wipe a squad and they had Bitcoins in their pockets and he got out of the raid. Fuck, that kind of makes me want to play again. And then they would come back. They would initially complain. They would initially be upset. They'd be all mad that you changed it, but then they'd come back because EFT is like no other game.
I complained when I first played Tarkov because I had no idea how the game worked. I didn't watch any streamers, and I lost all my loot that I start with, and I sucked, and I didn't have a good graphics card, so I was getting 60 frames. Now I get like 110, so that's nice. And I didn't play the game again. And then I tried one other wipe. Again, didn't play, and now I've been playing after this last wipe. So, but I came back. It just took a couple of years. So, you know.
Same. Honestly, I spent about 6 months of playing like maybe half an hour every like month or like 3 weeks or whatever. Just kind of like, I'll give Tarkov another try, whatever. And I just never got like wrapped into it. But this recently, like as of like January, I'm like, all right, fuck this. I'm gonna learn this game, and sat down and actually devoted the time. And then it's like, oh, this is not good because I can't stop playing this game now, and that's a problem. It's becoming an issue in my work life.
Tarkov's never been a game that was supposed to be easy to learn and easy to get into. It's about overcoming those challenges, which make it exciting and fun. Like I feel like if
that's
the game
like life.
if the game gets adulterated and becomes something that's very easy to play, you're going to run into a situation like World of Warcraft where they basically made the game incredibly easy to get into, and anybody could just pay money to skip a lot of the progress. And to me, that means that you're content sucks if it means you can pay to skip it. I'm not saying you're ever going to do anything like that, but people want something that'll make them come back, even if they hate it and it makes them quit. Because if they're quitters, they'll just quit. But people who really want there for that hardcore experience, they'll keep coming back for more. It's like a fucking bad drug addiction. Like, yeah, you know, it's maybe not that good for you, but you keep coming back for more.
That's
you know what
why.
I think is an unpopular opinion. I think Tarkov's problem is its player base.
The game got too big, I think.
I mean, it's Nikita deals with it all the time. The developers deal with it all the time. People that have made the investment to play the game, and they scream from the mountaintops when there's the slightest issue. And you know, I think it's admirable that Nikita addresses these issues patch to patch, and he also makes like hot changes during in between wipes and stuff like that. I think it's admirable, but for the most part, Tarkov's player base, they are a rough crowd.
They are.
Oh boy.
BSG, I remember when the SVD was added. No, actually, I'll use a better example. Medical animations. So before there used to be no medical animations, and you could run and shoot and heal at the same time. And like people like we're like, hey, BSG's like, hey guys, we're gonna add animations for painkillers and meds now, so you can't like heal damage as you're getting hit, because that makes absolutely no sense. And people would like bitch and complain like, oh, they're gonna kill the game, they're making it too hard. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Fortnite has medical animations. What are you talking about? And that's like a casual battle royale. And people are like, oh, fuck, you're right. My bad. I didn't really think about it that way. And like, I feel like the EFT community doesn't understand that the game that the way it is right now is not the final product. And you said this in one of your interviews with Nice Guy. We're in a testing phase. Our goal is to test these changes and become uncomfortable. One of my favorite streamers and my roommate, Willers, he, like when the weight system first came in and it was really punishing like 20 to 60 kilograms, whereas like 20 kilos, kind of, that's a lot of kit. Like people don't really realize you can't really move that fast with that gear on. He was the only guy who like abuses the meta to no extent, who was like, oh, fuck, okay, they changed it. All right, I'm going to bring in lighter armor. I'm not going to bring in a helmet. I'm going to bring in 20 round mags instead of 60s. I'm going to try and adapt and relearn the game instead of just like doing the same thing. Just play the game instead of being like, no, fuck you, BSG, change it back. Because then no progress can get made. And with the weight system being mentioned, like, strength and endurance would have never have needed nerfs if the weight system was still the same as when you originally added it. It would be fine. But the weight system is a non-feature in Tarkov. It doesn't do anything, even with stimulants. Like, it doesn't change the gameplay. It doesn't change the pace. Doesn't change player movement hardly at all, unless you're at like 80, 90 kilos, which is a ridiculous amount of fucking weight. It's like 200 pounds. You know, and it's just...
I agree. I totally agree. And that's why we're doing it slowly.
Smart inoculation.
Condition people.
Because again, I wish I could make like overload starting from 10 kilos. And there will be too many complaints about it, and it's not only about myself. I got used to the complaints, all of the like struggles related to this like physical, like not physical, mental things around the complaints and pressure and stuff. Like I got used to it for a long time ago. I'm talking about any other team members. They will see all of this like complaints, like they ruined the game, and it's always a hard thing to develop the game like this. It's always a hard thing to develop anything actually good. And I don't want them to have this kind of experience, this kind of additional unneeded pressure. And it's better for us make it more smooth, and it's really, really better for us to make people understand the changes, understand the reason of changes, the reason of wipes, the reasons of like additional things. So we'll implement, like introduce the weapon like durability working like correctly, and the misfires, and it will give more hardcore into the game. A lot of
you hit on something that was really fucking interesting for me. There is talking about your staff and the people that you have working on the game. How do they take it? Like, how do they take the pressures or the I guess the constant stimuli of people bitching about what's wrong with the game? Like, is that something you guys have to mitigate?
uh, for those who are like on the line, like community managers, like PR managers and stuff, they taking it hard. Like they are struggling. It's like a fight or something. It's like a war against inner and outer enemies or some kind. and they're starting uh, to burn out more quickly than in the usual days. And that means that I personally need to control that. I need to motivate them. I need to give some kind of like increase their spirit or something, and say to them that like it's nothing. Like get like you don't mention it. Like it's okay. But again, it's like everybody have its own limits in terms of like burnout rates or something, and sometimes it's just it. Like that's it. I'm done. And we had some kind of issues in the past where the huge pressure applied from the community actually led to
A lot of changes. Like I said, like there's so much stuff in the game that was initially implemented that I personally thought was fine. And like for me as a longtime player, like I love the patches where it's like, oh shit, this is something new. I've been playing for over 10,000 hours. Now I have to learn something new instead of it just being like, oh, this is just okay. I can learn this in like 5 minutes. It's not something that I really have to adapt my play style or anything like that to. And it boggles my mind sometimes how people don't want that change. They're fine. They think the game in its testing phase is fine and it's okay the way it is.
all the guys ask like do it like said do it all at once, suffer once.
I agree. I say rip the fucking band-aid off. Fuck them
Yeah.
all. Just do it. Just can we do it for one wipe and just see how it is for 30 days? ETS servers or something. Like let's test it. Let's test it.
I'm down. Let's burn this motherfucker to the ground.
Burn it down, boy. Let's fucking go. Like
I wish I could do this. It's not only about like I'm afraid of something. I don't have an exact amount of detailization needed. I don't have completed features. I don't have exact plan how to implement some hardcore stuff within the game right now. So it's not ready to be like pushed to the limits in this term. Like we need to prepare things. That's what we do right now. That's what we do for the release of the game. We are testing things. We're talking. We're making changes. We are taking damage. We are applying damage to you guys, of course, and it's all working around, it's all bowling in the same pot. So, and it's working. The thing is that it's working well, and slowly it's getting there, and we are making something that still has a lot of things to surprise. Like we still have a lot of things to do, and like a lot of different kind of features that will give you this like new feelings, and we will like it's always some kind of a comeback process. For example, if you had some like big patch long like time ago and the game getting like how to say it, game getting not boring, like it's more like routine or something, nothing interesting is happening, and everybody waiting for the vibe, and we do something great in you, and we are like actually like kind of coming back in this moment with all of the new stuff. And the good thing is that we still has this like cards in our sleeve, like we have this cool stuff that still will bring you this like new emotion.
Tarkov taxes. Can't wait.
Yeah, this is like old school Tarkov once more again. Let's go, people. Let's complete Kappa quest in 1 week or something. And
I'm excited to see because you guys have a really good balance right now. It's like you hit us, we cry for a while, and then we come back. It's really healthy, I think.
okay, if it's that simple, that's all right. Because
Bro, you're
just like mom used to do. You know, it's
hit me with the spoon again, mom.
Step on my cubes.
I never planned actually to have the game like this, like something punishable and enjoyable. It's like sadomaso things or something. Like it's what was nothing about that. It's more it was and it is an experiment right now for us still, because even I didn't even imagine that I will have an ability to speak with you guys, like to speak with like on the Discord, like live on Twitch channel, and like a lot of people will work how will watch how we talk, and I didn't even imagine that, and it's just like about this moment. There are lots of things ongoing that is new for me. They are new for me still, and it's an experience. And somehow, sometimes I don't know even how to react to this kind of things, and that's why it's a it's a pretty exciting process actually, and exciting and nervous, and you never know what's behind the corner. Like it's maybe something bad, maybe something good, but hopefully, and it's a really good thing that most of the time, most of the people, most of the player enjoying EFT, and even if they struggle with their skill, with the technical things, bugs like cheaters and stuff.
The desyncs and the lag and the blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah blah
we're
blah.
still looking and seeing and watching how people enjoy, and this is really good thing. And again, the kind of words like that the game influence on people's minds, not only in terms of gaming, also in terms of their lives styles, like gun culture and stuff. This is like really cool things to actually hear, and it gives us like the motivation to go on.
It's
That's
also
good.
really
That's
cool
awesome.
to see on the outside looking in, because we're kind of like following you on the journey, which is kind of neat. It's one of those things, I guess, like if there's like a parallel to the 50 project, it's that it's not done, but all of the progress on it is very public.
Mhm.
And so like it's kind of neat to be able to watch bring the game closer and closer to what you actually want it to be in real
Blandon
time.
way AK-50.
Yeah, and
Can
like
I ban you from your own stream? Is that a thing I can do?
So
Can you
and
make me an AK-50?
I am.
and you
I
are participating in all this process actually. Like you can feel, I can say that you can feel that you can change things, and give us your experience to make the game better. And it's, I don't know, like it's a general idea to have something like good, to have something suitable for everybody who loves the genre, who love the like tactical military stuff. Like it's a good thing to have it, because we all have benefit from the process, all of us
I mean,
sitting
your game's
here.
changed my life and like many other streamers' lives. If it wasn't for your game, like I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't know any of these people if it wasn't for your game. And that goes for like various other streamers and other people who have literally grown because of Escape from Tarkov. Like, you've done a lot to not only change the gaming industry, but other people's lives, the culture in the United States of America in terms of our gun culture, and in the gun culture in Russia as well. Like it's you've done a lot already.
It's fantastic to hear actually. Like I'm changing the gun culture in US. It's something like
You are.
You are, dude.
Genuinely, yeah.
Imagine,
Yeah.
Nikita, imagine someone coming to me and being like, "Hey, can you build me this gun from Tarkov?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah. If
Fuck
that's what you
yeah.
want, we can do whatever you
Yeah.
want." I mean, like
Yeah.
it's interesting to hear someone say that and they're like, "No, I want this gun." And it's like, nice.
it's the most like uh I don't know how to say it in English, like not powerful, but uh, touching,
Touching.
most touching thing that I heard like in years. I think that I don't know how to say it. Like I'm so flattered actually, but like this is really good to hear. I wish that it stayed like this in positive like manner. Like I wish it will be like this forever actually. And it's not meant that I will do like EFT for the whole like of my life, because I want to do any like other games and projects, but I want to make EFT as something like not mm, not the game that you will forget now in years. I
I don't
want
think
to make,
anybody will, man. Like
yeah, the foundation. It will stay not forever, but at least for a long time. So it will be some kind of place, virtual place, and you'll be able to look and feel, taste and feel all of the related stuff to the gun community, but in terms of like of a game.
Mhm.
So the idea is like I never thought about it actually. I thought that we will make a game and it will last for 2 years, like 2 or 3 years. Like it will be totally okay for us.
EFT
But
is the only early access game that every time you guys have a big patch, breaks records on your website, copies sold,
yeah,
concurrent players. I've never
yes.
seen any early access game do that before. None.
We still every major patch we are top Twitch, top 3 Twitch. We are breaking records in terms of sales. We are like breaking our sites, breaking our social media like pages and
Breaking
everything.
souls. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's what we want. I want you to break my soul, Nikita. I want you to crush on it and make me have to put it back together again instead of me just walking around with my slick and Alton everywhere and just getting normal and used to that.
I would love
Make
to
me
see the
uncomfortable.
crossover if we had access to the analytics, the amount of people that play Tarkov that also enjoy like masochistic porn. They just like being hurt. I feel like there's a huge connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Step on my
I do have-
cubes.
Or
Nikita,
chronic anxiety.
I do
Or
have a
that.
regarding like the criticism and whatnot online, because I've heard you talk about it on other podcasts, and that's how game developers measure, where their game's at is, what the people are saying. Do you have a good way of, because obviously I've, I get this, there's always that 1 to 5% of people you'll never make happy who will always whine no matter what you do, and it's hard to kind of separate them. They get, from the actual criticism, the quality criticism, because it's all mixed together. Do you have a good way of really, filtering that out? The people that whine about everything, you'll never make Fortnite gamers happy. That's not your demographic of, gamers that you're going after. You have a demographic. Do you have a good way of kind of getting through the wheat and the chaff and really getting the comments and the feedback that you need to make a game that really hits the demographic and the people you want to hit? Because there's going to be criticism. You always have it. Even as perfect as Tarkov gets, it'll never be perfect to the 1%, the 2% of the people playing
Reddit.
Yeah, I get it. The thing is that this is what you need to bear like the whole life if you decided to be a like influencer. So if you decided to make something new, if you decided to change people's minds, you need to understand, you need to prepare to eat shit. You need your favorite spoon.
Yep.
And you need to understand that I will be eating shit, of course. And I need to get used to it because in this shit you can find something interesting because we have like Russian Russian sentence like there is no smoke without fire. And if you have this all the whining part of the community, it could be like something in it because they can whine about something really.
What if they're just burning? What if they're just burning wet logs and it's not really a fire, it's just a lot of smoke?
Yes, but again, you need to learn, like you need to read it. You need to get into it, especially when it comes to massive whining or something. You need to put this all on on the list and see is there any like dependencies, is there any references, is there any that you can be like bothered, like some problems that concealed far beneath. You need to understand because literally some of the whiners, some of the haters, some of the toxic social media commenters, they don't understand how to formalize their sentences, their ideas. They're just whining and give you bad names and make curses.
Unreasonable. Just
Yes.
being unreasonable.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like 30 to 70%. Sometimes with all of this pile of shit, you like filter it with your spoon and see, oh, there is the problem. There is the core of the problem that gave him these emotions to write this shit to you. And this is the ultimate weapon actually, because you are calm, you are confident, and you are understanding shit. and this is it, because I like get it like not in the first time, not in the second time. I like was so frustrated. I was so depressed, and in different kind of like events and moments. It was really hard for me to understand how it is, why it is like this, why they still hate things, why they still whining, why they still like do this, not like rude comments. They do professional insulting uh, articles, like professional. They are
Professional shit talking.
they call it criticism, but they use words like "you shit fucks," "you shit heads," "lazy devs," and they call it this is criticism. You wanted to ban criticism of what? Reddit, Twitter, and everything.
Well, I think as soon as insults come out, it's no longer criticism. It's not valid. It's prison rules. As soon as you call somebody a bitch, your argument is no longer valid. You lost.
For example, like if we do something dangerous in terms of our like mindset or something, some changes, some crucial things that will like flame the things up. And we have a lot of commentaries, a lot of topics on Reddit with all of the whining like content, and I just read all of the shitty stuff.
Dude, don't read it. Dude, I've seen my stuff get posted on Reddit, and like I go there and I'm just like, nobody would even talk about the subject of discussion of my video. They would just insult me and just be like, this guy's a douchebag. They don't even talk about what I'm trying to talk about.
I mean,
Reddit is toxic. Reddit for some reason is like so much more negative than any other social media site. I have no idea.
Somehow they filter it. You have, if you have friends to do it, it's all right. If you have professional shit eaters, that's good. But again, it's your cause, it's your project, it's your life. You need to understand your community. You need to understand how people will behave, how people will react on this, on that. You must understand, okay, this is a shithead, this is a toxic player, this is something. You must understand all of the, your enemy. You must learn your enemy, how to combat it. You will learn it later. Yeah. And the second thing is you must suffer enough to become strong.
Then make the Tarkov community suffer, Nikita. That's why we need to get strong. We shouldn't be 80 strafing and bunny hopping everywhere and doing all this stupid shit.
Guys in the chat, I'm not talking about that the community is enemy. I'm talking about toxic haters and stuff. Guys, you're great. You're great, of course. But don't mention that. Yeah. Yes, of course. Like the most of you, 90% of you are great. You are caring. You're wonderful. We love you. Not only myself, everybody in this how to say it, our meeting
community.
Like, anonymous meet alcoholic meeting. We will love you.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah. But still there is a 10% like vocal minority, and I'm talking about them. And that's it, because you can ignore it, but you can miss the opportunity. You can miss the real problem. Because I have an experience, because literally there was some kind of problems, and I didn't understand why, and I understood the core of the problem in this kind of commentaries, with all of the whining, with all the hate and stuff. And the thing is that I got used to it. I don't like it's nothing for myself. Like I heard so many complaints and hate and curse words, and people wish me like death, and many other things, and I kind of got used to it. And this is my way of life. This is my way of like professional understanding and reacting for this kind of situations. I don't know, maybe there is some kind of mild approach to that.
I think you just need to remember your core values, Nikita. Like, I think you just need to ask yourself is this within the vision of the game that I'm making? Because we did not make Tarkov. The community who plays your game did not make this game. You did, and your team.
Yes,
if you just have to ask yourself, is this within our vision for our product that we started? Not that like we think this is what they want to play. Is this what we want to play? Is this what we want to give to people? Is this the type of experience we want people to have? And I think that's just what you have to ask yourself.
It doesn't mean that I wanted to make everybody happy. I really want to make everybody happy, but I understand that it's impossible to make everybody happy. I understand that. It means that it's impossible to take in action every comment, every topic, everything, especially uh, some of the topics will break the initial concept of the game. It's impossible for myself. But still, I'm noting things. I like building the picture of player base, what they want, what they need. It doesn't mean that I will do this. It doesn't mean that. But again, it brings me the whole picture. It brings me like for my like interest. Like okay, today's like gaming community is mutating in that direction. We will like need to understand that maybe in the distant future we will need something different. I don't know, maybe make some servers to utilize the power of like of this type of guys. So it's a social engineering thing within the game development.
I think you do a good job of it. I mean, it's a hard balance to find. And I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass and tell you you're some kind of, savant when it comes to dealing with these things. But it sounds like any actual professional with any kind of leadership experience, you're taking information, you're disseminating it, and you're creating a plan and a course of action based on what you're receiving as far as feedback, regardless if it's like you said, when you say get your favorite spoon and sift through the shit, to me that means like, hey, you got to listen to everybody, and somewhere in there's going to be correlations and commonalities, and you have to forget about the insults and look at the core issues and then apply your fixes to those issues. So I mean, I personally think that anyone that can kind of deal, especially your dev team, your whole crew over there at BSG, the fact that all you guys can kind of sift through all that together and remain positive and not literally go on a freaking 3-day fuck you fest of everyone on freaking Twitch of you know what guys, fuck you suck, you're the reason this game is shit or whatever else.
At least not every time.
Yeah.
And professionalism stops you from doing that. I mean, but I'm sure there's some times where that one guy just gets under the skin a little bit and
Puts you over the edge.
Yes.
yeah, and I think it's commendable that someone with
The only place
let's call it a system leading up to where you are now, you've created a good system to deal with it and to kind of implement things that you think need to be put in. And also taking community feedback is something not a lot of games do.
I can't tell you how many things that I found from Reddit or the forums that I sent to Nikita and like really well made posts. I'm like, Nikita, hey, like read this post. This guy put a lot of effort into this and like he gives a good point. And Nikita would check it out and he goes, damn, like, okay, this guy's made a really good post. It's very well done. And he would make the changes. You know what I mean? And
a lot of quality of life features in the game are based on your suggestions mostly. So again, right now I'm kinda not running Reddit at all because there is a lot of work we want to make this patch. So I'll be back on the Reddit right after we release 12.11. Right now, I don't want to be like it's no like use right now. Like I don't want to bring something new in my mind because like, I'm too focused on the patch release. So I will be back. But again, yeah, like a lot of suggestions from Reddit, for example, we made like the quality of life updates based on your suggestions. So again, there is a lot of good things on the community is going. Community overall, like overall community health is like I think it's like
it's pretty good. I think it's good. It's just the end of the wipe and people are bored.
Chaotic good, chaotic good. Like they are good people, but they are pretty nervous, pretty shaky, edgy sometimes. They can say something bad, but they didn't meant that, like in general. So
I think
it's
a simple kind of metric that I use, and this is something that we do here at our company, is if you want to complain about a thing and you list that grievance, you have to follow it up with a solution. Otherwise, the grievance is really only worth that much. So if
Based as fuck.
if someone says, like there's some problems I have with Tarkov. I think the weapon lights should be changed or improved. I now need to give the solution as to what that would look like. And so much complaining on Instagram on, people shooting, I'm sure Paul gets it and Brandon, you get stuff. It's literally just this problem. I think this is dumb. It's stupid. And then you ask, all right, what's the solution? And they have nothing to say. And at that point, their opinion is kind of worthless. Like it's worth like that much. Like they got to offer
in a way though, because even if they don't offer a solution, it's kind of one of those things where like sometimes it's worth it just to know that it's a problem, even if like, because it's like it's not their job at the end of the day. Because I agree with you completely. I know what you're getting at, but it's like it's still useful to have that data.
Not that much,
Right.
They have a solution that's tangible, what it would look like. Hence, Klean, you brought up the example of when someone does write up, a thoughtful response, which is, hey, Nikita, problem with this game. Yeah, here's the thing. Here's how I think you can fix it. Like that's a good, operational plan that can, take place. And it's not just, a problem with the game. And that's it, But I do agree, Brandon. Like it does offer this much. It's just not this. And this is what would be helpful for Nikita as far as feedback goes. So for all of you in chat listening to this, if you have problems, sit down, take 10 minutes and think about, all right, well, how could that actually be fixed? With optics, white lights, the economy, what would it actually look like? And then when you start thinking more purposefully like that, you may realize the game's not as broken as you thought. Because there are reasons that these things exist in the game. I don't like how the white lights work right now. There's some of the ADSing of the optics, and I need
ready if sprinting's too quick.
Yeah, I gotta suggest a solution that will still make the game kind of fun. Be maybe it's enough of a
it will be great. Like it will be great if it will be like this, and hopefully we have such kind of responses with all of the digitalization that like they put their effort to actually fix things. But we have a comment right now in the chat. Are we getting paid to fix it? Lol. Like people think that
they didn't read the EULA. We're testers. You literally bought this game knowing that it was an unfinished product and that you are testing a product. You literally did not read the EULA. It literally says that, but you just think that you're buying into something that is finished when it's in reality very far from that.
It's interesting that someone would say we're not getting paid. So like here's my retort to that. Not to that individual, but a comment like that. You may not be getting paid, but do you think it's going to get fixed if all you do is like, listen, everyone's complaint is valid, right? If you guys take the approach that Lucas gave and that everyone's giving right now of like, here's the problem. I don't know exactly how to fix it, but maybe this could help. I mean, it's also going to help if Nikita's sitting down thinking about a problem all day. He might become kind of tunnel visioned, and that outside perspective may help. So why not help? Like, why not be part of the solution instead of part of the problem? You're not getting paid. Fuck yourself.
So something I might be on the kind of minority on is, and it sounds like Nikita, you're kind of like this as well. I know it's completely toxic to read comments, but I read all of them. Like we probably get about 15,000 comments a day, and I will spend an unfortunate amount of time reading through them just to, even if it's not useful necessarily because people aren't going to solve all my problems in the comments, but it's like I want to know what the vibe is. I want to know what people are thinking. What is the overall median of public opinion about X, Y, and Z? And it's toxic as shit. Like it's a horrible thing to do, but I think it's useful.
And you getting better with it. You getting trained with all the process, and eventually
it's hard.
Yeah, immune. You're getting the immune some kind of you're boosting your immune system for these toxic fuckers. And pinpoint the crucial information about the vibe, the hype, all the ongoing atmosphere around your project. And like for myself, like I'm not a YouTuber, but oh nice.
This sucks, by the way. It smells horrible.
Of course. We're still using it in Russia. It cures any other like disease.
Everything. Radiation.
Radiation.
Oh, it smells so bad though. It's so strong.
Nikita, in reference to firearms, there was and now I've used the shotguns and there is kind of like an interesting there is kind of an interesting mechanic for shotguns. bringing the shotgun up and then pumping off the shoulder.
I've told him that for 3 years, man. It's not going to change.
It's gonna change. It's gonna change.
I've tried.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna.
He does this. I know what you're talking about. He pumps it and then he goes like this.
Example. All right.
He does this thing.
Check it out. This is how we lead by example. All right, Nikita. So when I fire a round, I can pump the gun just like this, right? So depending on skill level, maybe my resolve would be like, hey, maybe if you're a noob and you just got the game and you're a level 1, hell yeah, boom, back up. And then as you progress your shotgun skills, maybe you can get some of that boom, some of that, keep it in the shoulder, stay connected to the optic or sight, and you're good to go. I mean, that's my suggestion. Take it or leave it. I'm just trying to lead by example.
I agree. I'm trying to fix it too. I'm trying to get the point to our animators team, and they are saying like, "Oh, this is impossible because we have shoulder, boom, IK, something, and we will do it." They said, we will do it. Maybe the lead animator is Kiba is watching this stream right now, and
He loves shotguns too. He loves shotguns.
Yeah, like he loves shotguns. Maybe he will fix it eventually. Because again, I want several things in terms of weapon handling. I want quick tactical reloads, like in Modern Warfare, not so fast, but really quick. And we don't have it because we have limitations. We need to change something. And also with this quick pumping, and we can have in like the method of shooting with your shotgun. I don't know how to call it exactly, like when you are shooting from your shotguns and at the same moment you are recycling it.
Slam fire or pumping.
Yes. So also we want to make it real in game. But again, there is always something more important. Like for example, we want to add revolvers and double-barreled shotguns.
Yes.
It's always something that like breaks the process. Like for example, we need to remake something related to the networking. Networking is the most important thing, and we need to like redirect people from that task to this task, because for some reason some of the tasks still are have an intersection between different kind of people that are like they're working on some kind of task and they cannot be bothered right now. That's why it leads to delays and stuff. So it's not simple just to make something, even if it sounds super simple. Like, just do it. Come on, motherfuckers, just do it. It's so easy. Bam, like, easy shit. Come on.
Press Desert Eagle. Go.
See, that's why I said, like, there's my problem. There's my idea of a solution. I don't know how to implement it. If you decide you want to, go ahead and do so. It doesn't matter if it's in the next 5 patches. It doesn't matter. I mean, the voice is heard, right?
Yes, of course.
And you've heard all the other complaints about it. You've acknowledged that. And
yes.
you said you've tried, and eventually you'll get to it. It's just not a top priority with all the other issues that you have. So it's down on the back burner, which is absolutely an acceptable answer.
And the thing is,
Paul understands everything.
People don't understand that while they're asking for one thing, if you were to go and do all those little things, big things wouldn't get done that they don't see. Because like we don't see the stuff that you're fixing that would actually like destroy the game or the servers or how we play it or queuing or whatever. We want these little things done. Like I want the white lights changed. You're working on other stuff that's probably way more important than that I can take for granted because I want the white lights changed. I want to be able to white light a guy on interchange at 200 meters with my ACOG and smoke him. I want that feeling and I want to blind him. I may not get that for a few patches. That's okay.
Photonic barriers.
Other stuff that the game actually needs. I just don't see it. But I'm gonna, benefit of a doubt, assume that your guys and your devs are working on the stuff that's really important. And that's how people see it.
It's the whole man in the arena thing, because and this is in regards to everything that all of us do, is it's really everything's really fucking easy if you have no clue how it works.
Yeah.
Looking at it.
That's well said.
We call it the man on the phone, because when you're wasting my time on the phone asking about the progression of your equipment going through its process, I could be working on someone else's firearm that is slowing my job down. Now, reciprocally, if I'm dealing with 100 phone calls like that all burn up 3 minutes of time, that's almost my entire day wasted on the phone when I should be getting my work done.
It's true. That's why we don't take phone calls here at our company at all.
No, email only.
Email.
Yep.
You can't. You literally physically can't. It makes no sense to have somebody sitting there like paid to do that.
And I
unless
wonder
you're
what Battle State's
then it's
phone would
fine.
be like.
Yeah. I don't need actually the phone line.
I know. I was
We
just
don't have a
joking
phone line
around.
for complaints. Thank God we don't have a phone lines to
That guy
complain.
would have.
You guys got Facebook. That's already fucking
Oh,
toxic enough.
Thank God we have not received telephone in Russia yet.
Yeah. All the complaints you can send on the down the the toilet. I'm joking. You can send
So
them
actually, this is something to consider in the future. If you ever did implement a complaint service or whatever, and you have 2 text boxes and it says complaint and it says solution, and you have to put stuff in both boxes. You can't hit submit until the solution box is full, and you really just use that to go through people.
They
real
just
quick.
type in "fix your game, fucker" or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, I have a problem. My weapon is jamming. My MP5 started jamming yesterday. Solution, please, fuck off.
You know, it's funny. He probably has gotten that.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's not.
Well, how do you feel about the state of the game right now? Are you kind of on that almost happy? Like, how do you feel? I mean, everyone's like, "Oh, how's the player base feel?" But like, as the designer and the guy who's pretty much heading up the operation, how do you feel about it? Fuck up.
It's a hard question because I'm tired actually.
Okay.
And
it is a bit late for you.
Not so tired. I mean, like tired, like for.
We can always do this again.
No, not tired right now. Come on. I'm tired about like the producing of the game. Like EFT project is a pretty like hard process, especially if it's ongoing for the several years, almost 5 years. If I was fresh enough to look like from behind, like and see how it's going, I think I was happy. I would be happy like 70% happiness, 70% happiness, because it's going in the correct direction, and we have a great team, really great team actually, and it's really good actually to have a great team because you can understand that you can count on people. For
Yes.
example, we are recording something interesting, and I made a special even track for this something interesting, and people are working their asses at night recording materials and stuff, and they do it without any like, "I'm your director, please work, you slaves," or something. They are doing it for the sake of the result. Like, they are like doing it for free, not for free. The bad
They're
term.
passionate. They're passionate about the project.
Yes,
As it
and
should be.
this is really good. This gives me 50% of happiness, like on that 70% overall happiness.
That's
But
good.
yeah, but again, if I was fresh enough to feel it this way. Right now, I'm not so happy at all because I'm tired again, but it's much better than before. Much better than before. And the state of a project right now is something bad for myself. For example, graphics, visuals. I want to redo this from scratch to make them look more beautiful, more modern. Because again,
I'm
we
over here
are
thinking the
started to
game
make
looks
it
great.
5 years ago. We need to change it, and we plan to change it, of course. And some of the features that I still waiting to be done, I'm not happy about it. But again, in general, it's okay. It's not something for myself. It's something really great, something like tremendous, like super cool. But sometimes it's really cool. For example, the events, like the tournaments and stuff.
Love the events.
Yeah, they're fun,
Yeah,
man.
some
They're just meant to be a good
big
ass time.
thing. We are like top 3 Twitch. It's like really cool. And at that moment, I feel that everything is great and the game is good. I perfectly understand that the game is already found their like place, its place in the whole like genre, the whole
Industry.
history of the games. I perfectly understand that. Even if it's not perfect, it's still being done. It still has a lot of problems, like good things, bad things. It's already found this kind of place in the hearts of people and the history of like games. It's really cool. I thought that we will achieve it like with the release or right after the release of the game. So I thought that we will need to take this long road to the top and to have all of the benefits, all of the cool stuff, like long time after release. But we received it earlier, much earlier, and this is like really cool, and that's why in general, like I'm okay with everything that's going on around the game, and all I want right now is to have this kind of completion to release it, to have this like psychological barrier breached, and it's like challenging task because we want to make it so great. We want to make this
Already
Streets of
great.
location like we want to make it like the quests, all of the stuff. We want to like come back again, but make it like something like super special, super cool.
No,
And yeah,
this is what we should do. This is what you should do. You're at 70%.
Oh wait, hold on. Lucas is about to give a solution to a problem. Fuck yeah.
We have a solution. Take a break, fly over here, come and shoot with us, run some kit, get some ideas, test some different guns, shoot some MCXs.
It's been a while since you did a BSG dev blog
And,
for YouTube.
Boost that to 90-95% happiness. Go back.
Bring Kiba too, and Dominica. Bring him over.
Done. Shoot some.
that's great. That's great. Actually, I can feel it. Like again, I see the opportunities to actually like make something for myself because I'm the one who responsible for the whole philosophy of the game, for the whole like the processes within the company. Without myself, there will be nothing.
Chaos.
Yes,
Yep.
chaos, totally chaos. And I need to keep myself sane.
Same.
Sane.
Yeah.
Sane. Same. Yeah,
Yep.
and yeah, that's me. I need to get some of the good feelings, get some good experience.
Get out here, bro. Come hang out. We want to spend time with you.
No,
We can do like a big EFT meetup or something.
I'm done with that, and when the moment will come, our situation and our world will be better, at least a little, as I said. I will definitely visit all of you guys, and it will be a long journey, and of course it will be not like vacation. No, it will not be a vacation. I will be working, but in the
But you love your work,
way,
though.
like it will be.
You'll be working with grenades and machine guns.
Yeah, and alcohol.
work.
Really cool. A lot of cool content, I think, like really good thing, and especially a lot of good knowledge for the game. Like
Chat, do you
completion, of course.
support Lucas's solution for Nikita? Do you guys like that idea?
I second the motion.
Yeah.
I third the motion.
Yep.
Passed.
But
We-
you did
Motion
bring up-
carries. Get your ass over here,
Yeah,
Nikita.
come on, bro. Chad beckons it.
You did bring up a good point, and that is it is your sole responsibility to maintain the vision of the company and the vision of the game. And sometimes that means going out for the job and getting inspiration, getting new ideas, taking a break. Sometimes, I mean, that's kind of my responsibility here at the company is just making a couple decisions a day. That's it. Just a couple. If you really boil it down, and sometimes that means just going out, getting fresh ideas. So, yeah, let's pencil it in a month,
Okay.
a full month of ideas. Shooting.
Okay.
Thousands
I
Ten-
hope
rounds.
it will be done as early as possible because I wanted to do it last year. I still wanted to do it this year, this summer, but I really don't understand how it will go, especially about myself come back to Russia again because I can go to US, but there could be problems with the return of myself to Russia. I need to return back, like I need to be there.
Oh, the
before-
whole game's done on computers. You could do it remote from here.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, but
It's different being in the studio, actually seeing what you guys are working on, like standing behind them, like, hey, you fucking working on your shit, bitch? Like, like.
show me some cool stuff. Should Nikita visit the US to?
I want to
Yes.
see Nikita run a 2-2-4-2-2 with a saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, suppressed, so he gets
I
all the.
win.
I will shoot all the guns. Please bring,
My man. I would shoot all
Yes, twist my arm.
There you go, Nikita.
You're
Yeah.
not
He's got a 200 round nutsack right there for you.
Yeah, the 200s. You're not going to add these, are you? Yes.
Saws?
In game?
Belt feds.
Yes, we plan to have them.
These. Okay. All right. You're the ADS speed and the weight and the turning and everything.
Yeah, so
Well,
yeah, it will be hard to use.
My two biggest issues with the game personally is just player movement and the readiness from sprinting with every gun being exactly the same. When you sprint, the gun goes down in 100 milliseconds, comes back up in about 100 milliseconds, and it makes it so you can do those crazy 180s and shit. And it's dumb. It's really dumb.
We planned to have this fixed in the nearest patch, but we cannot do it properly.
Yeah, I understand. You got to push it back. I get it.
It's been addressed, but still, yeah. Круто. Вообще ништяк. Прям
Neat как.
класс.
Да.
Бомба. Пулемет, я купил пушек себе. А вообще у него просто столько... У вас у всех столов, у этого 20 столов. У этого вся стена стволами завалена. У Брэндона там даже... Вон у него мосинка обрезанная. This is sort of Mosin or something. It's Mosin, yes?
Я немного говорю по-русски.
Не знаю.
Не, с Брэндоном вообще можно добазариться. Водка! Yes?
Yes!
Да.
Да. Отлично.
Молодец.
Да просто сейчас я знаю, что тут русские смотрят, товарищи. Вот. There's Russian speaking viewers in the chat watching us, and they are like, see how many guns you have in US, like full walls of weapons, machine guns. And it's really cool because what we have here.
Dude, I love that shirt, Paul. That's awesome. Where can you send me the link where I can get that?
My favorite shirt.
Dude, I love it.
It's not made anymore, so I think I'm gonna take the rights from the old company that used to do them and just do them myself.
Dude, I want that.
Nice.
Okay, guys, it's been almost 3 hours. You know that?
Yeah, I think we had some really good discussions. Like we had a little segue, we kind of got a little political there, but that was still really interesting. It was cool listening to you guys talk about this stuff because I think it's good. Like honestly, I've actually been wanting to do like more political stuff on my channel as well related to guns, and I think we'll probably organize a podcast here in the future where we'll basically dedicate it to that. So because I'm sure there's a lot of you guys who are pretty interested in that. But Nikita, dude, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for listening to us all talk about your game and talk about various other things and all that kind of stuff. Paul, Lucas, Brandon, thank you guys for your time because I know you guys are always busy as fuck. Fucking Mr. fucking CEO over here running a company and shit, and taking the time to come hang out and fucking talk about a game that he doesn't play that much, but still he loves it and all that kind of nonsense.
All I can say that I really love the talks, not directly about the game, but something in between, something like is more fit to real life, and especially like I really like the idea to share my experience in terms of how to operate things within the company, how to deal with any kind of problems, and
we can do another podcast in the next week or two. Talk about other stuff. Doesn't have to be Tarkov.
Yeah,
I mean, I think 3 of the 5 of us run companies, so like that's super intriguing, at least from my perspective. Like those are the kind of conversations that like gun stuff is cool, but that shit's super interesting to me.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm just a scrub over here with the stream, so
yeah, like for myself in particular, it's like I can feel that I can get the pretty interesting information to ease up the stress of the production, and some of the ideas could make things simpler and better within the company and within the game. It's not only about like the corporate management or something. It's more like how to do things properly, how to make interesting features, how to change this like features into something good and reliable and more interesting, because you have an experience with the weapons, with all the stuff. So it's really interesting, and I believe that it's not enough time to actually right now to talk about everything. So I think we should repeat that. I don't know.
I'll be in touch with you guys, and we'll organize another podcast that's not necessarily directed about Tarkov, but just other like gun stuff and business and shit like that. I think that'd be super cool.
We'll do the next podcast in person. So if we get an American Airlines flight paid for, you'll be on it, right?
Yep.
It's not a problem for me. Yeah, I can bring like the nuclear submarine, and it's totally all right. I can be there like in the 10 hours. Yeah, I'll be visiting you guys for sure, and we will have like more like talks. I hope, because I know that there is a kind of place where everybody, like the most of the guys gang is situated is in Texas, and still I plan to travel through the whole US, and there will be player meetings and stuff because it could be interesting. So even I had an idea that if you guys want, if you will have time, we can make some kind of tour, like
Make time.
Yeah, I'll make time.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it
like
will be
a US trip, like throughout like different states and shit, and
yeah,
like a
we
road
can
trip.
do together. You can achieve your own like goals or something. You can meet your own context, but we can do it all together just to meet people all around the US or something.
The five of us just go in and rent an RV, travel the country.
Shoot guns in
That'd be
different
good
states.
content.
That'd
It's
be
a dream.
sweet. That'd be some
That'd be
fun
amazing.
IRL streams too. Yeah, for real.
It's a because it's real. We can do that. It's not only about like we can do it like escape from Tarkov something. We can do it like I can do it personally because
Mhm.
Those guys.
it
Yeah.
will be like really good
The
things. It will be
boys,
yeah,
the
like
boys go on a
really-
road trip around the United States.
But again, don't be too excited because again, COVID and stuff. And
Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
hopefully soon.
we'll
Soon,
figure it
soon.
out. We'll make it work.
Just like the wipe.
Nikita, thank you for your time. I know it's at a premium these days.
Yep.
Thank you
Yeah.
for your kind words. Thank you, Chad, for all of the kind words too. And let's
Yeah.
wait for the nearest patch and stay safe and everything. And subscribe
Cool.
to everybody, and
Yeah.
especially.
If you guys got Twitch Prime, hit your boy with the Prime sub, bottom right hand side of the screen sub button. Just go ahead and see if you got that Prime Gaming
right.
sub. Anyway, let's get a raid going. Let's go raid my friend, Dottie Hack. Go show Dottie some love, man. Longtime Tarkov player. This guy clicks heads with Glocks and shit. Love this dude. Thank you guys for the subs in advance. Won't be able to thank you all, but I see a couple of primes coming in. Thank you. Anyway, guys, you guys enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening. Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Be sure to go follow all these guys on the social media. Links are getting spammed in chat. Be sure to go check out the Twitch. They all stream. We're actually doing a range stream tomorrow on Brandon's channel. Over here, we're going to be shooting AKs on the range, just hanging out doing AK stuff. So it should be fun. Anyway, guys, thank you for everything. Peace out. Take care. And thank you guys for your time. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Have a good one, Nikita. See you later, guys. See you later, Lucas. See you
Yep.
later, Brandon. Bye, Klean.
See you later, товарищ.
Товарищ.
Все посваливали. All the
Yeah.